Hello, everybody, and welcome into my latest live feed. My name is CareyHolzman.
I'm Mitch Morrison.
It is Mitch Morrison. And on our channel, on this channel, all of our channel, we showcase how to build computers, repair computers, upgrade computers, expose scammers, review technical gadgets, maybe a little snack food review now and again just to mix things up.
All kind of good stuff.
Yeah. And so today we're going to do something a little unusual, maybe a case you've not seen before. Look at this case, Mitch. This is the Raijintek. I don't even know how to say the name of it. This isn't even available on Amazon. I had to buy it from Newegg and put a link, a non-affiliate link. I won't make any money on this link, to this $250 case. And it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. This thing is...
And it comes in 3 different colors, right? Silver, yep, black, and then I don't know.
And the company has a great promotional video showing how all the parts go in the different colors. And the link for that's in the video notes if you want to check it out. I'm going to step around here because I want to explain why this is such a long case. Normally, we stack things up in a tower. So we have to lay things flat in order to get to this slim style of case. That's going to mean no air style, no air cooler, right? We really don't have the height for that. So we can put a 120 or a 240 millimeter radiator over here. And then between these two parts, the Mini ITX motherboard goes towards the back with a hard drive cage in the front. And then next to that is a spot for your optional GPU, which this case comes with the riser cable here and the nice little box of screws and some zip ties for your $250. So again, radiator, motherboard and hard drives, optional GPU, and then power supply, and then an area for your power supply cables. Up front, power switch, USB Type-C, and 2 USB 3.0s. And that Raijintek, right there. Not quite sure how it's pronounced. This is intended to go in an entertainment room of your house. Some people have entertainment rooms.
Nice screening rooms.
Yeah, you got a theater room.
Yeah.
So they call this an HTPC, or a home theater personal computer, HTPC. And it differs in that home theater PCs are supposed to look like they belong in with all the other audio video equipment, right? Not as a computer, but as a piece of audio video equipment. And it's supposed to be quiet. You don't want to hear the whirring of fans and such to interfere with your theater experience. And I was just looking here about the finish. And I guess the panel gap is the same. I see a little bit of a gap here, but overall, my first impression out of the box is it feels like it's really nicely made. You know, we've seen all different kinds of cases on this channel that are, you know, made of thin gauge material, where the paint jobs aren't done right, or done well, I should say. So far, just out of the box, it looks really good. I got a little bit of a wobble happening here, but this is a natural piece of wood, and it sort of has a little wave to it. It's several pieces of wood attached together. And if you run your hand across it, you can feel the waves on it. So what concerns me is these legs don't seem to be adjustable.
It has a very nice retro feel, though, very 50s or 60s, you know.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I would say that, you know, I would guess most people are going to put this, I mean, I don't know, you'd need a shelf this deep. I'm not sure. Maybe on the floor. I don't know where you're going to put this.
I have just a space in my theater room.
Yeah? Well, you'll probably go home with it then. But I'll tell you what, this wobbling is not the fault of the unit. It's a fault of the table. But it sure would be nice if there was some way to, you know, like a balancing method where you could unscrew the legs. But clearly the way this is designed, it's really about the look more than it's about convenience, right? This is just meant to meet a certain aesthetic for a very specific purpose. Not that you couldn't use it for other things, but why would you? For $250, this is really intended, as I mentioned, to be a home theater PC. Yes, you can put a super high-end motherboard and graphics card in there and also make it a gaming PC. You could game in your theater room. You're going to crank the price of this bad boy up by twice if you do that. Now, I made a mistake when I ordered the parts, and I was a little panicky because I thought, uh-oh. For whatever reason, I was looking at all the mini ITX options I had, and I was going to go with an 11th gen Intel Core i5. I thought it would be perfect for a media center build. And ended up with a micro ATX. Sometimes when I'm scrolling through, Amazon starts listing all the socket types or the chipsets that I'm looking for, and I didn't catch it. And, you know, I even received the board earlier in the week and still didn't catch it until today when I was putting the parts together. I said, wait a minute, this is not a mini ITX board. And then double checked to see that this will only take mini ITX. And yeah, there's no option to go micro.
No room. Yeah.
And then I was in a little bit of,
a tizzy.
I was a little panicked. I was like, all right, what do we do? Do we cancel today's show? Do we go back to the big beast build? What do we do? So looking at the boards I have, the mini ITX boards I already have, and I have this MSI, what's the CPU up there? This B450i, had this for some time. And I checked the compatibility list, and it should work with the 5700G CPU that I bought for the motherboard.
Should.
Well, it may need a BIOS update, but we'll cover that if we
Yeah.
need it. I've got another lower end Ryzen chip I could fall back on. So I had bought the Ryzen 5700G. If you remember, Ryan in Nevada sent me a couple of AMD motherboards. And the one he sent was a really nice high-end gaming motherboard.
Right.
And we put it all together, and it wouldn't turn on because there's no place to plug an HDMI cable in the back of the motherboard. It must have a discrete graphics card. I'm like, why did I spend extra for an APU? You know, and I thought a board of that level, that expensive, would have it.
Yeah.
No. So I'm like, okay, that's no big deal. The board's fine. We know it works. I'll order a different CPU for that where it doesn't have built-in graphics since that board requires discrete graphics. And I just kind of put it aside and didn't think about it. And Ryan sent me two boards, and my initial thought was maybe the other board, you know, I'll just move the CPU to the other board, the lower end board. But I haven't even taken the other board out of the box or looked it up to see if it's got video outputs. So I said, well, we'll solve this right now. We'll take the RAM that we used on that 5700G build, where we couldn't, we had to get a graphics card and plug it in. That's how we know the motherboard works. So anyway, that's all been sort of disassembled except for whatever solid state drive, whatever M.2 I put in there, still in that other motherboard. But we took the CPU off and Mitch has cleaned it. We're not going to use the stock CPU fan that it came with because we're going to use this liquid cooler here, which is the something different. This is an EVGA closed loop CPU cooler. It's a 240 millimeter. I've not used any of the EVGA liquid coolers. And we're going to pair that with this small form factor EVGA 650 watt power supply. So we're kind of doing an EVGA thing today. This was going to be an Intel build, but it looks like it's going to end up as an AMD build because that's the parts I have, and the show has to go on. The video has to go. Now, I think the CPU is a bit overkill for a media PC, but it's not overkill for this cooler. So I think overall it'll be a nice balance. And yeah, that's the 5700G, right? That's what it says on the front.
If you say so. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And this board, the B450i, should work with it. So that's going to be our mission today. Oh, for the drive, I was thinking of using an Intel, a cheaper 2 terabyte drive. I didn't want to put a more expensive Samsung in here because the performance shouldn't matter for streaming. And then I decided to just, instead of picking the budget one or the expensive one, I went right down the middle and I picked the one that was a little bit more money than the budget Intel and a little bit slower than the Samsung, the high-end Samsung. So that's a 2 terabyte ADATA XPG. Is that the 8100? Yeah, SX8100. I've used these in the past. And it's probably also overkill for a multimedia PC in as much as how fast it is. Intel would probably have been better, but honestly, for the price difference, I just went with that one instead. I can't tell you exactly the reasoning I had, but there was some reasoning there at the time when I ordered it. I just can't remember what it was anymore. you know, having received that micro ATX board, really, I just can't believe I didn't notice that immediately. I've had it for days, and I kept all the parts together for this build. And it wasn't until I was setting everything out. In fact, I've had this case in the box over
A while, yeah.
nearly 2 months. This is the first time I've ever taken it out of the box. It's the first time ever really seeing it in person. And that's why I was quite shocked at just how large it is. I thought it was going to be about like that.
Yep.
So
The photo on their website is very deceiving. I was like, yeah, oh, it's going to be a cute little thing. And then I got thinking, how are all the parts going to go into something?
yeah, it would have to be taller, right?
Right, yeah.
So with everything side by side by side, power supply, graphics card, motherboard, radiator, they just lay it all out. Of course, if we had more parts, you have to just keep going. So that's where we're at. Let's give some shouts out and hellos to the folks in the chat and the contributors.
Hope everybody's doing all right on this Friday.
It is Friday.
Yeah.
Let me scroll to the top here. It looks like we got some contributions. Peter Laycock contributed $50, saying hello from Bonnie, Scotland. Joseph Hawkins in New Zealand with 25 New Zealand dollars. He says, I have to go, but I'll watch later. And that's from Joe the Kiwi. Planet Cryos contributes $5. So thanks again to Planet Cryos, Joseph Hawkins, and of course, Peter Laycock. Peter Laycock does so much for us here. Hello to Bob Counters and Luke Greenia and Ada Rivera and Ken Stout. Welcome in Catherine Anna Hauserman and Randy Reed, Johnny Belcher Jr. Mort Mott's in the chat. Blackwatch in the chat. Sarge Tech in the chat. Tony Wallow joins us. Hey, Tony. Just scrolling through what we were missing here while I was. Jason Wyrick is there. Jim, KJ3N, Jeff Ryman. Michael Dane, he's the man.
The man.
Rick Hubbard joining us from London, England with a £5 contribution. As always, thank you, Rick. Appreciate your support very much. And Kenton Morton with a $5 contribution. He says it looks like a 2021 VCR computer. Explain that to the kids today.
Yeah. What's a VCR?
And there was a contribution through PayPal from, it was just before we got started here. Just happened to catch it. Louis Coronado sent $25 via PayPal. Well, thank you, Louis. Thank you for supporting the channel so that we can buy all this stuff without having to ask the manufacturers to send it to us for free. Sometimes manufacturers don't want to send you what you want. They want to send you what they want to push. So then you have to sort of make exceptions or cut corners and explain to the audience, this may not be how I would have designed it, but this is what the manufacturer sent me. In this case, everything is pretty much the way I would have it, except I did intend it to be Intel. Now, I should also mention that B450i, I'm noticing on the back, it's an Amazon warehouse buy, meaning that that's a return board. So hopefully that's okay. I don't remember if we tested it.
Okay.
But well past my return period. It's mine.
Okay.
Whether I like it or not. Ada Rivera contributes $20. Thank you so much, Ada. Aaron Werner with $1.99. He says, awesome job, Carey and Mitch. Matthew Barnes with a £2 contribution says, hey, Carey, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Matthew. Everybody in the chat say, happy birthday, Matthew Barnes. Right on.
Another year closer to death, not to be a downer.
What's it like?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a lot closer than you are.
Roger, well, you're not. Well, you're assuming you're dying from old, that I'm dying from old age.
Oh.
I want to go get hit by a car.
Oh, okay.
Roger Mack with a $5 contribution.
My car. All right.
Yes. Exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
Roger Mack contributes $5. He says, always a great presentation with you guys. Right on. Thank you guys again. Thanks for showing the love. Appreciate it. Show Matthew Barnes a little love. We'll give him a happy birthday there. And get about 209 viewers. We're a little low right now.
Yeah.
A little low.
On this Friday.
Yeah. Where's everybody at? How come they didn't invite me?
Yeah.
We'll try this other camera angle out here for a second. See if this is this too close? I got to stand over here. Is this that camera?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, just
going on.
Yeah, I need to get shorter
Yeah.
or taller shoes. Yeah. One way or the other. All right, so camera 2 is good to go that way. Go back to that shot there. All right. What do we want to do? Where do we want to start?
Do we prep the motherboard, I guess?
We could prep the board, or we could prep the case first.
That's true.
Although the case is pretty big and it's going to get in the way. A couple other contributions I'll shout out here while we're making up our mind. Bob Connors joins us and contributes $25 and says, I don't know why I keep doing this. It's an addiction, I think.
A good one. All right.
As far as addictions go.
Yeah.
And why does everybody say addiction with a negative connotation?
Right.
Can an addiction be a good thing? Like I'm addicted to breathing air and I'm addicted to eating food.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I mean, what's the cure for that? The cure for everything. Death. Randy Reed with a $10 contribution says, good afternoon, Carey and Mitch, an awesome duo. And Gainsey95 with a 12-pound contribution. So thank you, Gainsey95, Randy Reed, Bob Connors, thank you guys again for voluntarily contributing to support this channel so we can continue this nonsense. Right? Somewhere out there, somebody's looking at this going, I want that.
I wonder who.
Well, besides this guy, do any of you find this case appealing, that you would want that? Do you have a home theater, or do you want a home theater where you think that would be an ideal solution for you? I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are.
Well, plus I would, I've got in my window of the screening room over-the-air TV. You know, you can still get digital channels like, you know, ABC, NBC, CBS. So
local channels.
Local channels. And so with the two USBs in the front, and I'm sure a couple or one or two on the motherboard, I've got a little doodad that you plug into the USB, and then you run your coax cable that's to the antenna that's taped in the window, and I can pick up about 70 channels over the air.
You're talking about to the back of a TV, not to the back of a computer.
Well, no, it would be.
Well, that's the power supply.
Well, yeah, it would.
That's the motherboard.
It would be to this, you know, to the antenna, and then.
Let's say you got an antenna plugged into the USB port of your motherboard. How do you then change channels and watch TV? With a piece of software.
They give you a remote.
But there's just got to be a piece of software.
There is, yeah. I forget what it is.
But it all comes packaged together? Mm-hmm. Never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, and then I can watch over the high def, over the air local channels, which is great.
See what we have in the comments here. Craig Lilly with a $5 contribution says, greetings to Carey and Mitch. Well, greetings, Craig. Kenton Morton, oh, we said that one already. Reminds me of an old 60s radio is what Michael Dane says. Icaratus says, it's a sexy case, but I'm totally done with HTPCs. Alice says it has a nice space-age look. Ken Jung recommends the Intel Nook for a home theater PC. Yeah, it's a little tiny box. This is more of a, you want people to see this, but you don't want it to stand out as a computer. The Nook would be my choice for an HTPC because it's so small and tucked away. But it's definitely not a showcasing piece. It just gets the job done. Patrick Rusaw contributes $5 and said, it's the HTPC from the Jetsons.
Yeah, there you go. From Spacely Sprockets. All right.
Sarge Tech says that's an over-the-air tuner USB dongle. See, I've only seen that on the old ATA All-in-Wonder card. Wow, I'm showing my age now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
And those were not fun. I always had problems. Jason Wyrick says, I think it's cool, but I'm not sure how much I'd utilize it. So not for me, but I'm sure somebody could.
And if I had this right next to my NAS, then is there a way to tie, I guess over the internet, over Ethernet or something like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. You wouldn't physically connect them together. Everything will connect to the router, and they'll be connected. Everything connects to the router, and the router connects everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. So no different than if they were in separate rooms of the house. Whether they're physically side by side or across the other end, they'll still connect to the router, wired or wirelessly, and then they'll communicate that way. Yeah. Tim Too Much contributes $5. He said, you skipped me earlier, so hello, Carey and Mitch. Again, I'm sorry, Tim Too Much, so thank you.
Thank you in stereo. There you go, twice.
Yeah, thank you so much. I apologize. You got to keep us on our toes. Freedom Flights with $4.99. And the reason that probably happened is because we started the show right out of the gate. Some of the chat has already scrolled by, and I can't go back, and YouTube's not showing me the history beyond that point. So I didn't see it. But thank you for bringing it to my attention. Thank you for continuing to support the channel and not assuming I did that on purpose. What's this guy's problem? Yeah, I just didn't see it.
Too much Gatorade. All right, so.
No such thing.
Yeah, right.
Freedom Flights with $4.99 said a Samsung 970 Evo Plus Gen 3 versus the Samsung 980 Pro Gen 4. I'm building a new computer, and I'm going to use an i5-11600K. The Samsung 980 Pro Gen 4 is quite a bit faster on the read and write speeds. That's pretty much all you're buying there is performance. So if you want to, have a Generation 4 drive and have that added performance, you pay for it. The 980 Pro is pretty pricey. It kind of depends what you need the computer for. Going from Gen 3 to Gen 4, I think most people aren't going to see a difference other than in benchmarks because you're already moving data at 3,500 megabytes a second. If you could double that to 7,000, and it's already taking, 3 milliseconds for something to load, and now it's going to take 2 milliseconds for something to load. It's probably not something a human is going to notice, but benchmarking will. But it also depends on how you use your computer. So if you want the best, right, then the latest and greatest, the 980 Pro Gen 4 is the way to go. And you definitely want to use that on an 11th Gen 500 series chip from Intel. I know some of the 400 series are supposed to have working Gen 4, but I haven't verified it. I wouldn't play around with that. Besides, with an 11th Gen, you get the most out of it on a 500 series anyway. So really, your choice. You could go to Google and type in exactly that, Samsung 970 Evo Plus Gen 3 versus 980 Pro. And I think CPU Boss or some site like that will come up and it'll show you all the different benchmarks. But at the end of the day, what it amounts to, it's like buying a Dodge Hellcat that's got 800 horsepower, versus the regular Dodge Challenger non-Hellcat. You pay a lot more to get a little bit more horsepower. And for some people, they pay it happily. And for other people, they're like, yeah, this plus the terrible gas mileage and the higher insurance rates, that's something I'll rent and get it out of my system. I don't need that every day and just sit there and just, drink up the gasoline like it's flowing water. But it is the American way. So to each his own, or her own.
Or their.
Or their own.
Oh, yeah.
And Catherine mentions you could also get the 4th generation Rocket from Sabrent, which is cheaper than the Samsung 980 and performs very similarly for less money. Oh, did our audience numbers go up here? 378 people there. Now we're getting back up to where we should be. I like to get about 500 people or more in the chat on a big Friday build like this. We got a lot of money in it.
Someone in chat said this looks like a breakfast in bed tray.
Yeah, when it's loaded with parts, it'd be pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And let's see. Flip de Loop sent an Amazon gift card of $3 from the UK. Thank you, Phil. And a contribution is from Icaranus for $5. And Jeffrey Ryman sent $10 via PayPal and says, for everything I've learned from you. Okay, everything he's learned from me is worth $10. No, I'm just teasing. Thank you. Thank you for contributing.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's honesty.
Yeah.
Kenton Morton with a $5 contribution says, welcome everyone to the Mitch and Carey show. Today, today's appliance is the big home theater where it fits right on top of your Curtis Mathis. Remember the?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes me want to go shop at Federated or LaBelle's.
Ollie Fretter. Do you remember him? Fretter's Appliance? Growing up in Michigan, he did audio and stereo. Yeah.
So the place that I grew up by was called Lafayette's. That was the big audio stereo place. And
Five-finger discount, yeah.
that stuff was pretty big.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty hard to five-finger discount some of that hi-fi equipment.
Yeah.
You'd be very talented. Armando Garcia with a $5 contribution says, hello all. Uncle Carey, I finally got a PayPal account and I want to break it in. So where do I find your PayPal? You can go to paypal.me/CareyHolzman. It should also be in the video notes below this video. Thank you for asking and thank you for supporting the channel. Luke Greenia says, Carey, I'm just letting you know the Must-Tech build is still screaming along perfectly.
Nice.
It better be.
Yeah.
I expect that to run for quite some time without a problem. But thank you for the update. I'm glad you're enjoying it. He certainly contributed enough to pay for it, to more than pay for it.
In ransom.
And in ransom. And was very patient in receiving. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Should run till next Tuesday. All right. So
that's when the warranty runs out.
Okay.
Ronald says, build me a computer. Well, make me a sandwich.
With him, it's preferably ham. You know
Is
what I
that
mean?
really the best way to approach somebody you don't know? Just be like, boss them around. Give me your wallet. You don't want my wallet. It's just filled with bills.
Hundreds. Oh,
yeah.
Not those kind of bills. All right.
No, I think they have invoices due within the hundreds.
Okay.
So prepping the board, is that
Sure,
what I do?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll get the big stuff out of the way then. So you just step around here.
Did you want to take this then?
Just
I'll take that.
right over there. That's gonna kick it.
Yeah.
I can't get my foot up that high to show it on the camera.
Well, Chad, I'm excited. Uncle Mitch on Wednesday, I shot the lock off and I got 2 new tires for the motorcycle. And ooh, does she run smooth now. There's nothing like new tires, but I wanted to get them before going down with a friend to the Rocky Point Rally, which this year is their 20th anniversary, November 11th, 12th, and 13th, something like that. And they did not hold it, of course, last year. So this year's the 20th anniversary, and it's just going to rock. I've never been to Rocky Point, and so from here.
Did you just say Rocky Point was going to rock?
Yeah, I guess it's a 4.5 hour ride on the motorcycle or via car, and I think they're expecting 15,000 people. I won't say motorcycles because some people will just come down in a car, but yeah, my new tires will get me down there no problem. So yeah. Elijah, did you ride your new? Yeah, I did ride it home. The one thing the guy in the service department said was take it easy on the curves for the first 75 to 100 miles because tires can not that they come greasy, but he just said it can get a little squirrely till they're broken in. And I said, well, again, I'll just take a few weekend trips on it to wear them in. I'll go to Bartlett Lake on the turns, and I won't go crazy. I'll take my time and break those tires in. But the bike rides, what a difference with new tires. So I'm pleased.
Jose Antonio Serrano contributes 50 Mexican peso. This is a great channel. I've learned a lot from you. Excellent shirt from Alan Parsons.
Oh, yes, thank you.
And greetings from Mexico. Right on.
Yeah, I was all set to see Alan again and signed up for a meet and greet. And here at the Celebrity Theater about a month ago, and then he canceled. But I can't blame a guy who I think is 73 or 4 years old. You want to be a little concerned about what's going around now. So
we had a contribution here I missed that Catherine's alerting me to here. Alexandru Lonscu contributes 25 Romanian Lau, about $5.88. In US, he says, I hope you have an older CPU handy because that B450 motherboard will certainly need a BIOS update for the 5700G for sure. I don't know that because this is a return product.
Okay.
And I don't know if we tested this in the past. I can't remember. And I don't know if we would have tested it, we would have updated the BIOS. And we don't know, even if we didn't test it, that the person who had it didn't update the BIOS. And I don't know which BIOS update makes it compatible with the 5700G, but as I stated right in the beginning, I said, this might need a BIOS update, and if it does, I have an older CPU. So we've already covered this, but thank you for the contribution, and we'll find out here. Either way, it's gonna, we're set, we're good. I always have an old AMD CPU. In fact, I've mentioned that anytime you watch me do an AMD build, there's been occasions where I've had to bring it out, and I've explained every time I bring it out. The reason I have it is if I have a BIOS update issue with using a newer AMD chip with a pre-existing AMD motherboard, it's just something unique where AMD is currently in their manufacturing process that I just don't deal with on Intel. Certainly not as often.
Okay.
It happens often enough that I do keep an older AMD CPU specifically for that purpose. Always have. Well, not always have, but ever since I started about 3 years ago, it's always been in the stable for these boards.
Okay.
But yes, that is correct. Catherine says the BIOS that you need is anything newer than 7A40VAF. That's fine. I mean, we're not going to upgrade to that, basically. Right. We're going to upgrade to whatever the latest BIOS is, regardless. It's going to work or it's not going to work. Doesn't work, we swap the CPU out, update the BIOS to the latest.
Okay.
Right? It's not like I can check the BIOS version if it's not going to boot. So knowing that information, interesting, but not necessarily, when I was saying it, I didn't mean it quite literally, other than in the construct or in the context that if the person who had this board prior to me had it during whatever that BIOS update came out, it's possible it's already got that or newer on it. Okay. I don't know. Or we shall may find have out opened together. It in the past and we may have already updated it from whenever we did that, however long ago that was, which might have been that version or later, but I don't know. All I was saying was I don't know what version of BIOS is required that starts the compatibility for the 5700G. That's all. Not that I needed to know specifically what it was. But thank you. I appreciate the information. Armando Garcia contributes $5 and says, I think I just requested money instead of sending it on PayPal. People do that all the time. Yeah. I get these requests. Oh, okay. When you click on the PayPal link, there's a button, right? It's a little radio dial. Mm-hmm. Sending money or requesting? And I think requesting's on top, and that's the default. You got to change that.
Okay.
Catherine says the BIOS version she told me is the newest one. So apparently, I guess she's saying you need the newest one to be compatible with the 5700G because the 5700G has been out quite some time. But I really don't want to keep droning on about the BIOS. I'd rather, Catherine, please, can we let this go and move on? Because at the end of the day, what matters is whether or not we have a BIOS that's compatible with the chip. We're not going to know that until we try. And if it doesn't boot, we'll know to swap the CPU out. So we're going to do all this on an open bench.
Okay.
Should we put the Lazy Susan back out? I guess we should. That Lazy Susan had to be taken down because the case is so long, it doesn't, the legs are like out like that. So let's see what we got here. So on the MSI B450 Gaming Plus AC, there is our tiny little motherboard. Yeah, I have no idea if I've worked on this before.
I like the screws right there for that.
Oh, that's a good catch. Yeah, for sure. We'll set that there. And
we're going to need that, right?
We will, but not just yet. So we'll set this aside for right now. I don't think we need anything in there right now. And I'm going to go ahead and just drop the CPU in it.
It's got a little schmutz on the side. Remember that?
Yeah, we were cleaning the thermal compound from the previous build. Would you hand me my old man glasses, please? My nerd glasses? I can't see without my glasses. I gotta have my glasses so I can see. Let's go to,
The Magic Cam.
yeah, let's go to the Magic Cam. Hello, Magic Cam. There it is. There's the Magic Cam. All right. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Yeah, we got a little
Schmutz. Yeah.
Is that schmutz? Is that what you call that?
Yeah.
I don't know, Mitch. I don't know that you clean this to my standard. It's good.
Sorry, boss. Oh, and here's the...
It's coming out of your check.
Yeah, here's the doodad.
That little white dot right there?
Right
So
there.
that little gold arrow means it goes in towards that. Now, you don't push the CPU down. You just... See, if it's not in the socket, see how it's kind of raised up? And if I just gently slide it forward, see how it fell in?
Good.
Now we can lower this.
Yep, no pressure.
This is a zero insertion force socket, ZIF, zero insertion force. And we need a cooler on here. And I think I'll use the original cooler temporarily, which means we have to take these brackets off.
Your scepter.
Ah, yes. This is a more elegant weapon than a blaster.
Yeah.
For a more civilized time. Thank you, Nurse Mitch.
Indubitably. All right.
Okay.
Using big words today. All right.
I am going to, I put the cooler away. Let me go grab the cooler. I don't think I'm going to put any thermal compound on it for right now because...
You just want to test it, right?
Yeah, we're not going to really push it hard.
Oh, and I got to tell you, chat, when was it? Last Saturday night, I went to the Doobie Brothers. It was their 50th anniversary. Well, actually, last year was the 50th, but with the pandemic, they didn't have shows, so it's really 51. But with Michael McDonald, and they were just great.
I was going to ask you about that. Did you see who's coming in concert? I was going to tell you. Firefall?
And Atlantic
Rhythm Section.
Yeah.
Atlanta Rhythm Section?
Atlanta, yeah. Unfortunately for them, who sing Spooky, and I'm not going to let it bother me tonight, the lead singer died about 9 years ago. So they must have someone that kind of sounds like him.
Well, this creates an interesting dilemma. Now what do I do? If I put it on this way,
Okay.
this logo hits this shield.
All right.
If I put it on this way, the logo goes over the RAM. Well, let's go ahead and put the RAM in. Why don't we do that? So these are our Elite 8 gigs each, DDR 3200.
DDR4, yeah, 3200.
Yeah, DDR4, thank you. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm breaking a rule by putting this one in first. See, because now you won't be able to see me put this one in. I hate it when YouTubers do that. I always start with the inside first, so your camera, so the people watching, can see each one go in. All right, now...
Do you think that logo will fit? Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to check.
And do we have a winner chicken dinner?
No,
No.
not happening. I have another idea. I have a taller version of this that came with a different AMD CPU.
Ah. Just such a cute little board. That's funny. Uh-oh, Uncle Carey, when I lifted the board, the back plate is on there.
Yeah, because we took the screws out that we're holding it in.
Well, let me line it up, or you line it up. Here we go. Wait, did I line it?
You can do it. I have faith in you.
I've been to the carnival. All right, where is it? Oh, right. Nice.
Were you making a lot of money?
Yeah.
Did they pay well?
Yeah. There
See,
you
now
go.
That works because the
Shazam.
base is so much taller on this cooler. Can I have?
We'll give Milwaukee a nice plug. Ooh.
Oh,
There you go.
it's such a bad habit. I started to pick up the motherboard by the heatsink. I haven't attached it yet. When's the CPU fan? This one or this one?
Take a chance.
It's this one. It says right down there. It says right down here, CPU fan, and it's just below this connector. And that says sys fan, and that's below this connector. You see that? And so this is going to go on the CPU fan header, like that.
Or like that.
Yeah.
Or like
Why is it not going on? There it goes.
Yeah.
There. Okay, so now we just need to give it some power, I guess, right? We've got the CPU, the RAM. We don't need any storage in it at this point. We just want to see if it's going to boot. If it doesn't boot, I've got an older chip so we can update the BIOS. Is that a plan?
keyboard and mouse.
Keyboard and mouse. Right here. And then we need a power supply. I think we'll just use this big old Thermaltake power supply since I have it out and available. And then we're going to need, what else? Oh, we're going to need a power switch. So let me go and get the power switch here. I was talking about the front port headers in quite depth yesterday, and I mentioned how they're always the same except maybe on a micro ATX board, they're always by the big power connector. So on a micro ATX board, because everything's so condensed, find your big power connector, that big one, and usually your front port headers are around here. So this looks to be a USB 2 and a USB 3 right here. See this? So in this case, my example was not good. And what they've done is they've moved the front port switches over here. Start looking for the same sort of pinouts. See, they look nearly the same. That's the audio pinout, and I can tell by just looking at it where the pin is missing up there. And then above that, geez, where's our power? That might be our power header right up there with our audio header here. Maybe. Now, of course, the manual would explain all of this to us, but, prefer not to read the manual. This is RGB headers here. Yeah, well, this is the only other header it can be. So our power switch would still go into the same position when this is located down here on other motherboards I work on. It's still the same pinouts. So power switch still goes on the second pair of pins on the top row. And there's no positive or negative, so you can put this on the other way around. It still works the same. So power, big 24-pin power connector here, and then the 8-pin CPU power connector, and that's all we need for testing the board. That's a video card power connector.
I was just seeing if you were paying attention to that one.
That's the one we need. Thank you. Okay, so we've got the keyboard and mouse, we've got power, we've got the switch. I need an HDMI cable, which I conveniently leave on the floor along with everything else. And we'll plug that in right there. And I think we're ready to test fire this bad boy. What do you think?
Truly the smoke test.
What do you think there, Uncle Mitch?
Power switch on.
Oh, we need power to the power supply, don't we?
That might.
Yeah. I thought I was forgetting something. I was going to have it.
And you thought of
good feelings.
of hopes and dreams. All right.
Yeah. I thought maybe sending it some good vibes.
Vibes.
Here, hold that for a second. It's a little wrapped up down here. You have enough slack?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to untangle that mess later after the show. I've let it get away from me. Cables on the floor are getting a little out of control. All right.
Power on. Mm-hmm.
Tell you what we're going to do is I'm going to take this Magic Cam and we're going to keep it running, but I'm going to move it over here. And then I'm going to keep this camera on too. I'm going to keep camera 1 on, and we're going to move that over here. We're going to get super fancy with this.
Okay.
So we're going to get 2 shots at the same time. And now I'm going to turn on the HDMI input, which is the output of the motherboard, which right now the motherboard's off. There's no output.
So you'll get the color
If
bars.
the CPU, look, if we get a post screen, then we're good. If we don't get a post screen, then I'm going to grab a spare older CPU. In the meantime, you've got the switch on the power supply. You want to hit the switch.
Oh, is it on or off?
It is on.
Okay.
And yeah, give that a little tap. We're off to a good start.
We got fan spin.
But no signal. But let's give it, 90 seconds to 2 minutes.
Yeah, be patient. No touchy. Mm. Now, don't wait, like Carey says, 10 minutes. But
It's not going to hurt anything.
Right.
It'll just be a waste of time. This is why we're not putting thermal compound down. It doesn't seem like we're going to be going anywhere on this.
Yeah, doesn't look good.
I'm gonna, in anticipation, I'm gonna grab the old CPU, and you just shout out if something happens.
You broke it. All right.
Still nothing, huh?
Nope.
All right. All right. So what I have here is a Ryzen 5. What's it say? I gotta read. Oh, I can't read it. Ryzen 5 1500X. So that's pretty old. I don't know that they can really read it in a small screen like that. Let's readjust these cameras. Hold on a second. We'll go back full screen with the. There you go. Now show it to them. There you go. And let's go ahead and shut this off. Will it power off? Sometimes you have to hold the button in.
Can I open this? Huh? Can I?
Yeah, please. Just take the CPU out, keep everything else in there, and we'll swap this out. This will only take a minute.
Ooh, came with its own cooler, but here's our chip. Oh, yes.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna.
And our Go Faster sticker. It's a must.
Is the power supply on the off position, please?
Is that the 0?
0, yeah.
Like you? All right, okay.
That's right.
All right, here we go.
I started life with nothing, and I still have most of it left. Can I have the red driver?
Oh, yes. Mm.
Those magnets will get really
magnet.
powerful there. Thank you. Proper presentation.
2 grunts and a groan.
I was just curious. I mean, we could have started with the older CPU, but where's the fun in that? There's no excitement. People do not have fun anymore.
No thrills, chills.
That's right.
Amazement. All right.
So here's our new CPU, and as you can tell, it's completely different. Yeah, no, they're exactly the same. But what's underneath here is completely different. So we'll take this one out temporarily. Temporarily. That's a lot of syllables.
Yeah, syllables. All right.
And I'm going to put it upside down so it's not bending the pins. We'll just set it right there. We'll take this one out, again, holding by the edges. And just gently set it on top, and if I just move it around, it falls in. Lock it down and put the heatsink back on, and then we can fire it back up again. See how easy that was? Did you blink? You might have missed it.
And
Can I see my laces, please?
And you're sure this will work? Positive? 100%? Yeah.
Well, look, I didn't manufacture the parts in my own lithography fabrication unit, but, you know, the math adds up.
You're pretty certain. All right. Oh.
You can ask the Magic 8 Ball and see what it says. I think it'll say all signs point to yes. All right. Thank you, Mitch. Now hit the switch back on the power supply. Make sure everything's still plugged back in good. Hit the power switch there.
Well, you want to change screens so that we're two or no?
Okay, let's bring this back over here.
Now?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Got fan spin. That's good.
Oh, fan slowed down this time. That usually means it's ready to boot.
So you say. All right.
Here we go. Any minute. I can feel it. It's going to happen.
Builder. All right.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Here we go. Light just lit up on the board. And, you know, it's got to train the memory, train the CPU. Give it just a moment. Got a good feeling about this.
Go with that feeling.
Yeah. I'm going to go.
You broke it again.
Does that chip, so they're asking if the new chip that we're using
Needs a GPU.
It might, actually. I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've used one. Or this one. 1500X. I mean, it doesn't have a G on it. I don't know when they started doing that. Usually they say a discrete heatsink included. Discrete graphics is required, so we will have to add. Well, this chip here does not need a graphics card. This one does. Go ahead and shut that off. I think it's trying to boot.
Oh.
So we're okay. I have a
Press and hold or just one?
Yeah, press and hold it. It should shut down. And then we're going to go full screen on the wireless Magic Cam there. And I have sort of a basic graphics card for just this purpose. I have to find it.
And there is graphics cards are as rare as hen's teeth, chat. So I'm quite jealous that he has.
Well, I got to find it, Mitch. You might have to send a search and rescue in here.
Oh, okay.
I need to start getting off my butt and working more. These parts are starting to build up over here again.
In inventory.
What did I do with it? I intentionally left it out.
It's the one that does not require power, right?
Yeah. Where did I put it?
Oh, I stole that last week.
Yeah. Well, that would explain it.
Yeah. And it's working great. All right.
I have like 2 of them, but I don't know where they are.
2? Okay.
You have a joke of the day, Mitch?
I do.
Keep us entertained.
So, Chad, it's now time for corny joke of the day. So let me think here. Okay, Carey doesn't know this, but this week I went to my doctor for a COVID test, and he said, have you had a sudden loss of taste? And I said, no, I always dress this way.
Oh. Oh.
That's pretty good. I'm trying to look and see if it's around here.
You know, I probably installed it in one of these machines.
Ah.
But I normally keep it out.
Yeah, you keep...
For just this reason. Now, I have other graphics cards I can use, but they require power. I really like that little 1650. I don't know what I put it in. It's just gone. Huh. Well, I guess I'll figure that out another day. I'll just grab this card here.
So you're just going to need one that requires power? I mean, this power supply has the cable.
Yeah. No, I mean, the power supply is fine. I just don't like to run the power if I don't have to. I'm just baffled as to where I put that graphics card. I left it out in my tools area, and it's not there anymore, which means it's probably sitting in one of these cases.
Oh,
for
something while Carey's back there, can anybody in chat recommend a good over-the-air USB dongle? TV dongle. You know, I know I've got one at home, but there might be some better. It's a couple of years old. Still works great. Jeez.
It's an MSI board, so we'll use an MSI graphics card. This is a I don't know what this is. 1070 or something. Yes, a GTX 1070. Armor.
Ooh.
Power switch off on the power supply?
It's the slash.
I want it on the 0. Thank you. It's a nice way to get a big spark out of your motherboard if you try to install any cards into them when they're turned off but plugged in like that. Make sure that that retention lever is open. I want to bring this to the edge of the Lazy Susan so it can sit down in there. There we go. And now I need the power. Thank you. Well, that's weird. That one's only a 6-pin, and that's the only 8-pin. What a strange power supply that is. You know, as soon as we're done, that graphics card's probably staring at me right in the face.
It's going to walk right into shot. All right. Perhaps you should have installed that first and then put
Maybe
it
I should have, but you know, I like to do things the hard way.
Yeah, they're muscles. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's kind of my trademark. It's my intellectual property. All right, we're going to do this. This time, I feel like I got a good feeling about this. And I'm so confident. I've already got the BIOS copied onto this flash drive right over here. Mm-hmm. We're going to get that ready.
Now?
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm going to go ahead and move us back again to the corner. Hit it.
Got fan spin. Take 3. Ooh, don't want that caught in the fan.
Okay, the fan slowed down again, which is good. And there we go.
Shazam, as Gomer Pyle would say.
All right, so now I need to take a look at the input here. And there's our screen. Ryzen 5 1500X. Okay, that looks good. F1 to run setup. So, did we turn the keyboard and mouse on?
Yep.
Okay. So F1. F1's not working. Well, there it goes. It's a little slow. And here's our BIOS, which is version what? There it is down here.
11/12/19 BIOS build date, little old.
Yeah, that's pretty old. That's certainly before the 5700 G that we're going to use was used.
E7A 40 AMS.
Okay, so what we do, we're going to go over here to, well, first I'm going to plug this little flash drive in over here into the back of the board. We'll just keep the screen on the output of the computer as I do this, because all I'm doing is plugging the flash drive in. That just before we went live, we went to the website for this board and downloaded the latest BIOS in case we needed it. And once we've done that, we should be able now to go to the M-Flash up here, select one file. Do you want to run M-Flash? Yes, I do. The system kind of shuts down and then restarts into the M-Flash mode. This is something unique with MSI, so bear with us with the no signal on your screen right now. It's going to come back. I'm just going to borrow everybody's monitor for a minute while we do this. The M-Flash software should start. Here we go. Still waiting. Okay, it's entering flash mode. I'm not touching anything. Select the file to flash, and it says the USB disk. That's the flash drive right there. So we'll click on that. Whoops. I double clicked. I should have single clicked because the second click was the name of the individual file on the flash drive. Now, thankfully, I only had one file on the flash drive. Right. What would have happened if I would have selected the wrong files, it would have said this is not a valid BIOS, right? So be careful. Don't do what I just did. Just one click, not two. And while that's happening, we'll go back to the simultaneous two camera shots here. Still bothering me, right? I don't know where I put that GPU. And it's such a handy little GPU to have. I treasured it.
I just don't think you would have put it in a build because you knew
I would have, whatever the last thing I was working on where I needed it, it might still be in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think. Now, when you're flashing the BIOS, what do we say? Hands off.
No touchy. Patience. Actually, this BIOS update is kind of slow compared to other ones.
Yeah, MSI BIOSes seem to take longer. I don't know why.
We're only up at 20%.
But that's okay. You shouldn't have to do it often enough where the amount of time it takes matters. Right? If it's 4 minutes instead of 2.
Yep.
It's so infrequent, who cares? Still trying to find that graphics card.
Ooh, chat, and I'm looking forward to this coming Monday, but a friend of mine who's a big movie buff is coming from Tucson here to Phoenix, and we are going to see on Monday afternoon Dune in IMAX. And we got, I got some beautiful seats because it's a Monday afternoon. Most people are working, and yeah, looking forward to seeing it since the director himself said see it on the biggest screen you can. Certainly the IMAX at, 5 stories tall and, 90 feet wide, and that 18,000 watt sound system. Yeah, looking forward to it. I unfortunately have never read the book. My friend coming is a giant Dune fan, and so he's read the book many times, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, this is really strange. I'm not even seeing that video card installed in any of the systems I have. That's concerning.
You know it's working, because is it flashing? I think it's flashing.
It's so weird. That is really, really strange.
And you say you got 2 of them?
Yeah, I've got one brand new in a box.
Oh.
And I know I didn't put it back in a box. I had it out with a purpose for just this occasion, but I guess it doesn't matter at this point. That's something I can do off camera later. Just biding my time while we're waiting for the BIOS to update.
Yeah. A little pokey.
Yeah. Romex says, did the PC that's planned to have a discrete graphics card installed? No, we're going to use the 5700G. So when the AMD CPUs, when they end in the letter G, that means there's graphics built into the CPU. And because this is a media streaming computer, it won't need a discrete graphics card. It won't need that much power. That would be if you were using it for gaming or something.
Yeah.
So it's way overkill.
Would that handle, and will that chip handle 4K streaming? No problem? Or just 1080p, you think?
It's a very good question. I always stream in 1080.
So do I.
So I don't really watch anything in 4K.
4K, yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat will know if the onboard graphics of the what did I say? It was 57 and 5800? Not that one. That's the 1500. 5700G. If the onboard graphics on the 5700G do 4K.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. The projector, I've got a rear projector that's, just 1080p, and I like it. And I tend to think like I think Carey does. The 4K seems a little unrealistic, not very film-like to me. So I'm very pleased with how the 1080p looks. So.
Jim says, I know the 5600G will do 1440, but he's not sure about 4K. And Arvale says, the system may now fail to post after this update because that CPU will drop off of the supported list to make room for the newer CPUs, which is a good point to keep in mind. Don't freak out if after this is done and it reboots,
that it will not.
That it doesn't post again.
Okay.
But we want to make sure it's done flashing the BIOS, so don't act too quickly. When it gets to 100%, there still may be other things it processes on reboot. Okay. So just sit idly by and we'll see what happens. But we appreciate the heads up and the reminder on that.
I can't. I can't.
And we would have no reason to have that CPU anymore after the BIOS update. So it's kind of it's kind of irrelevant anyway. But good to know.
That typing is so small. I can't even see what. Are we at 90% or?
It is hard to see, isn't it?
If you can read this, you're too close. No. All right.
94%.
94.
We're almost there. Well, we're almost at the first part of it.
Right.
Now, that may be only one part. It could be several parts. I'm not familiar with how MSI's BIOS flashing procedure is compared to others.
And Danny says, yes, the 5700G will do 4K.
Right on. All right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Good to know. So now there's the first click over, or whatever, I'm using technical terms. All right. So we'll see now with the second one, or whether it goes.
Yeah, it may be continuing the BIOS update, or it may not boot. Oh, well, it's posting. Still waiting. So again, don't act too quickly. Haste makes waste. Be patient. It's still, anytime you reflash a BIOS, it still has to sort of reintroduce itself to your CPU and RAM. It has to what we call retrain. And of course, as I mentioned, the BIOS update could still be finalizing any end of that process. I don't know. So we'll just give it, 2-3 minutes or something until I feel like it's not doing anything. I don't see the light on the flash drive flashing, so we're good there. Alexander says it will work with all CPUs. It has a higher capacity BIOS chip, which is why the updating is taking so long. Well, it's taking a very long time. Very long time.
Yeah.
5700G, says Elko, has the Radeon RX Vega 8 graphics. So we could Google that to see what those Vega 8 graphics are capable of to get a definitive answer from a website. And this thing's taking quite a while.
Yeah, I'm not holding out hope.
It should do something. Like we got the post screen.
Right.
Matt Power says, wow, that's the slowest BIOS update in history. No, actually, the Asus Flashback BIOS, where you can flash without a CPU or RAM. You just give it power and a flash drive.
Okay.
It takes about 10 full minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. And you can't, there's no video output. You're just watching the light on the back of the board blink or on the top of the board. And when the light stops blinking, you're done. It's very nerve-wracking to be like, can I turn it off now? Let's see. Well, given that there's no flash drive light blinking
activity,
I would say let's hit the power switch. Go ahead, Mitch. We'll make it your fault if you break it. Just tap it.
Just tap.
Press and release. That's a good sign. All right, when the fan stops, press and release again. Let's fire it up again and see what it does.
Smoke. All right.
Here we go. Because we did get the MSI logo screen.
Post, but no, yeah.
But it didn't post, right? It didn't give us a power on self-test. So here we go. It goes to the black screen. See, the motherboard LED was blinking around. There's the logo. And then we should get some kind of an error. I wonder if the error is actually there and we're not seeing it. Ah, it was there. We were covering it up.
You blocked it. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we're fine. So go ahead and turn the system off again. So it does, in fact, still work with the 1500X. So much like other information on the internet, what we were told was wrong. But that's okay. It's good to know it's still a possibility. Hit the switch on the back of the power supply if you would for me, please. And let's go back full screen on the Magic Cam. There we go. And now we're going to pull that CPU and pull the graphics card and go back to where we were. And it should boot just fine this time.
Oh, you're going to change out the CPU, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But first I want to get the graphics card out of the way because it's big.
You know what you could sell that for? Don't ask.
A 1070? Maybe 600 bucks. Maybe 500.
Is that a couple of years old?
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's at least 3 or 4 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
One owner, low miles. Okay.
It is. I mean, it's just a
Can be
testing.
yours today.
It was just used for testing. But I have another one I use for
From
testing.
a
That I
little old
still...
lady in Pasadena. All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a big fan of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
All right, can you hold that for a second? Let me go ahead and pull this here. Okay, thank you. And my glasses. Without my glasses, I can't see so good. Oh, thank you very much.
We'll get newer eyeballs. All right.
I'm going to get new eyeballs. I'm waiting for the new eyeball upgrade from Apple's II.
Yeah. Make one of them glass. All right.
Can you imagine if you live in Scotland and Apple made the II?
Yeah.
Would you like an II? Aye.
Aye.
I'd like an II. Boy, this whole place sounds narcissistic all of a sudden.
Now you're going to put that back in this?
I am. Because, I have a hunch at some point in the future, we're going to need it again. I think it goes this way. See how it's deeper on this side?
Oh.
To protect the pins. And I think we want it so we can read it.
And then that goes back in here.
Right back in there. OCD.
Just like, ooh.
Down with OCD? Yeah, you know me.
Well, it's got wiggle in it. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I took all the other packaging out because it's a hassle. All right. Put this back down. Now, if you were a casual home builder, you would not necessarily have that spare discrete graphics card or an older CPU. And in times like that, you're best to take it to a local computer shop or to a really good friend who might help you. And that's more likely to happen with AMD than with Intel. So keep that in mind when you're choosing what parts you want to buy. Understand the proper expectations so you're not disappointed if you've got to go through what we just went through. And of course, we just made it look super easy because I'm a computer tech and I have lots of spare parts. Most people don't have the number of spare parts I have.
I'll tell the world. All right.
This should...
Are you ready?
This should work now. Okay. So let me step back around. Move the drive out of the way. And we'll go back to taking this camera down. Let's see. That's not the camera I wanted to move. I want to move this one.
No. No.
Not yet. Kenton Morton contributes $5, says, thank you, Carey, for being our friend. Aw, thank you. Thanks, Kenton. All right, Mitch, it's on you, brother. Let's make this thing work now, would you? Here we go. We're off to the races of the latest BIOS. And in theory,
fan spin, that's always good. It's slowed down, that's even better.
And without a discrete graphics card, we should get video on the screen this time. It's retraining, remember, give it an extra few seconds to, wait a minute, that's a different CPU, I've got to adjust. See, it just kind of turned itself off there. Now it's coming back on. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what I want to see. And what we've got there written on the screen is the standard sort of, we want to load the defaults, so that's F2. Let's load those defaults. And then it's got nothing to boot to, so we're back into the BIOS again. And so what we're going to have to do now, Mitch, is what?
Put on some storage.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So we'll go to full screen back on the Magic Cam again, and go ahead and shut this off because we don't need to do any more with that. We've now verified it boots. Now the storage, where does it go on that board? That's the question. Go ahead and power the power supply off for me so we're not working with voltage.
Yeah, I don't see where the NVMe unless it's underneath.
Is it under this? Wait, I need my glasses.
Oh,
again. I keep putting them on the other side of the counter like I'm done with them. So is there an M.2 under here? I don't see any way to release that.
Oh. So yeah, you don't need the little screws.
Sometimes they're on the back. Aha!
Ah.
M.2 on the back.
So shall we get this out of the package?
Yes, please.
All right.
Steady hands there.
Yeah. Too much coffee. All right, let's see.
So this heatsink is just a heatsink. There's no M.2 under it. Sometimes there'll be one in the front and one in the back on these little mini ITX boards. But this one appears to only have the one.
Cut away from me towards Carey. All right, here we go.
Always cut towards Carey. That's the rules. Yeah, looks like we only have the one M.2. And that's going to be right under here. And I need the JIS screwdriver, of course.
Ooh. Ah. Very nice.
Now, Mitch is easily impressed.
Yeah.
We'll just take this out. See how there's a cutaway right there? And what we do...
Now you will need the little screw that was in this box.
No, it should already... Oh. I thought there was one already there. I guess not. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
As always.
When you're right, you're right. So notice I can't put this with the label facing up like I normally would. It's got to go the other way.
Show them. You see where the little screw? It just taped right there. You can have it there, Smedley. All right, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. This is the controller, this big silver chip. Every solid state drive that you see will have one like that. And a lot of times they put the sticker, the manufacturer sticker, over that. But in this case, what they want us to do, as you can see, the notch is going to line up, requiring this to go with the sticker facing inward. And then we place if we want to, this little heat sink, but you can see how flimsy it is. It's really just for looks.
And it's on the,
We can turn it either way. Which way do you
and
think?
it's on the back of the board anyway.
Yeah, no one's going to see it.
Yeah. So,
What do you think? Should it go that way?
Since nobody's going to see it, knock yourself out.
Well, let's put the screw in there first. Okay. Is this bag open? Yes. Yeah, super tiny. Always use a magnetic screwdriver for stuff like this. That thing falls into the carpet.
Yeah, you'll never.
Or if you're working in a case and it falls into your power supply, you know, where your fan opening is, that's just not going to be good times. And as far as this little heat spreader is concerned, it really doesn't do much. But it's really just for looks. And it looks like I cannot put it on this way because you see the cutout right there?
For the screw.
That's for the screw. So it's kind of indicating that's how they want us to put it on. Just kind of lightly set it and then kind of figure out how far close to the edge you want to take that. Wow, that's some strong glue. I just barely set it down.
Yeah, just lightly set it and it just...
Wow. Holy cow. I might just leave it there.
Yeah. What are you on the vertical? It's not that good. It's good.
Why is it still... There's too much movement. I mean... Is there another screw we were supposed to use there? Let me see that JIS driver again, please. Because I felt that tighten down, but we still have a
little bit of wobble.
Yeah. Will you check the motherboard box and see if there's another screw? I mean, that's tight. Still too much play. I don't like that one bit. No, I don't like that at all. Nope. There's no other screw in here, huh? There's no standoff that we can use. Nothing. All right. Well, that may be a condition of getting a returned board from Amazon. They might have just put that screw in there as a generic replacement.
Right, thinking that that was the one.
Like that won't go any further. And I'm afraid if I try and tighten it beyond that, I might have some spare M.2 screws that'll fit. I don't know. Not all manufacturers use the same M.2. I want to get into this drawer right here.
And there only can be one. What movie is that from, Chad? There can only be one.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Highlander.
There you go. One cookie for you.
Just one cookie?
Yeah.
What a rip.
Yeah, you need one with a larger head, right?
No, it's the screw's too long.
Oh.
I just need it to be shorter. The head of the screw's fine either way. But I swear I had an extra that I put in this drawer for just such an occasion. Let's get my nitrile gloves out of the way. What's this? Those are fan screws. Oh, now look at here. I have a spare screw and standoff.
That'll work.
I think that should work. Thought it was in a plastic bag though, but what's this? There's a little teeny tiny M.2 screw right in there. That one may be too little. I'm going to try this one first. You know why? Because this one goes with the standoff. I don't want to separate them, but this one's just a screw with no standoff. Okay.
You drop that in the carpet, you need a knife? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this screw is very, very shallow. You know, if you look at the different length of the screws. You see how much longer this one is?
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's quite a difference.
Yeah.
That's why I say not all not all manufacturers of motherboards use the same M.2 screws. This may not work. Or it might be just perfect. Now there's no play.
Right.
Now this screw, I'm going to put it back in this bag.
And what'll I do with this? No cracks.
Do you want me to tell you what to do with that? Tell you what, take that. And I'll put both of these in this one bag. So in the future, when I go, hey, where's that bag with the M.2 screws? I will find.
Why don't you use a bigger bag?
Because this one's already labeled and it was working before. And I only have the two.
Yeah, let me file that. All right.
I need to get a little piece of tape and close it. I don't want them to fall out. If they fall out in that drawer, they'll never be seen again. So just a piece of Scotch tape, or as the British like to say, cellophane tape. All right, look at that. Again, another thing that could be a huge issue for a home builder, which, you know, a professional shop should have parts like that laying around. Now, I'd say let's install. What do you want?
Don't say it.
You want Windows 11?
Yeah, don't say it. Yeah.
I've heard 21H2 is supposed to be out November 10th, but I feel like it's going to be out before that. I get a hunch. But you want Windows 10 or Windows 11?
Ask Chad. I know what I want.
What do you want?
10.
You want 10 for sure?
10.
I mean, as a media PC,
Yeah.
11 will probably be okay.
I don't
It's not like you're running any apps on it.
I don't like 11.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be old.
I am old. All right.
I said you're going to be old.
I said old, not ancient. All right. Here we go.
All right. There's my Windows 10 bootable media right here.
No Windows 7 Pro?
You want Windows 7 Pro? Let me see if I can get
Yeah.
Windows 3.1 on there for you, DOS 5. And then we'll power this back up. It should automatically boot to that flash drive. I'm going to step around and go to this screen again. Let's see. We want to take the wireless camera and bring it down here. Put it right over there. It's good. And ideally, we will get something that says,
Everyone's saying Windows 11. You can forget that. I'm all about the 10.
we don't like change.
Yeah.
We want everything
Yeah.
to stay the same
Yeah.
forever.
We're good till 2025, right? 2025?
Yeah.
October. Yeah, 15th, 2025.
Marty OL contributes 50
Hey,
bucks.
Marty.
It says, hey, Carey and Mitch, and of course the chat. Hey, thank you, Marty.
Now the screen you'll have to make bigger because I can't.
Yeah, and again, for people at home, that's just he's referring to what we're looking at. So I just make an adjustment on our side, and yeah, we're going to go right with all the defaults here, just like I always do. Next, install. Don't have a product key.
No Windows 10 media server? No, just
Yeah,
that was Windows 7. All right.
remember that?
I loved it. Loved it.
So you were the one.
I was.
I knew there was somebody out there who
Yeah.
liked it. I
It
just
was like
didn't know who it was.
It was me.
That's our 2 terabyte 8 data drive right
Ooh.
there. Next. Now it's going to partition, format, and copy the files it needs for the Windows 10 install. And go back to that screen. I found a site. I like Spotify. If you have Spotify and you search for, I think you can search for my name. I have a couple of shared playlists, and it's a way we can share music without copyright issues.
Good, because I don't want to hear you sing. All right.
I was going to the karaoke.
I'll give you. That's one for you. All right, karaoke, or in his case,
You need a break?
In his case, karaoke. So,
Magic Cam needs a break.
oh well, let me fly the drone. All right, here we go.
All right, you're good. All right, so anyway, so on Spotify, I found a channel on Spotify, and I want to show it to you.
Lay it on me. All right. With your glasses.
Yeah, let me get my glasses.
Is it 70s? I'm all about the 70s.
Oh, that's better than music. It's not music.
Oh.
Do you see what the name of this Spotify channel is? Right. Come on, I'm going to find it.
Ah, should I say it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Daily dad jokes.
Let's play one of these.
Towards you.
My 5-year-old got me today. How do you fix a pumpkin? with a pumpkin patch. How many Mexicans does it take to change a light bulb? Just one.
Why is that funny?
What did one monocle say to the other? Let's get together and make a spectacle of ourselves.
Oh, just one. Just one.
One.
Oh.
100 years ago, everyone owned a horse and only the rich had cars. Today, everyone has cars and only the rich own horses.
That's a
The
good.
stables
Whoop.
turn.
The stables turned. Yeah.
I cut that all too soon.
What does garlic do when it gets hot? It takes its clothes off.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Takes clothes.
My guy friend and I got Pfizer shots together. Then we grabbed dinner and drinks and watched football afterward. It was a vaccine mandate.
Oh, wait, I don't get that.
I don't get that. Yeah, it was a vaccine
Mandate. Oh.
A little late on the uptick.
Why can't you annoy a skeleton? You can't get under their skin.
I like the canned after. Yeah.
We need that.
I'm Bob Jeffy. Good night all. I'll be back to you.
All right, Bob Jeffy.
Yeah.
So daily dad jokes over there
Yeah.
on Spotify.
Bob, don't give up your day job. All right, so here
Well,
we
as
go.
long as he's got the canned laughter.
Yeah, you can't miss.
All right, you driving, Mitch? All right,
Yes.
he's going to click yes. And then what's he doing? He's going to click yes again. Then he's going to click skip. And then you're going to hit I don't have internet there on the left side. And again, can it continue with limited setup? And then we're going to type in what username do you want on this?
User.
You're just going to put user, not the Morrison Theater.
Oh, capital U.
And then he'll click next, and on the password, just leave it blank and hit next.
Now I got to turn off everything but location.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you don't have to, but
No.
that's what I would do. Click not now. Okay. Now it just runs through that last bit there.
Yeah, but with Cortana, I could say, Cortana, play me the movie The Right Stuff. And it wouldn't start playing? No. That's asking too much, you know.
I'm sure there's a way. I know the Fire Stick does that.
We don't say the A word because a lot of people's puckles start going off if we say the A word.
Freedom Flights contributes $1.99. Says keep up the good videos. We're doing what we can. You know, whether or not they're good, I can't promise you. But they
We'll definitely settle for
Yes, we
mediocre.
do. Yeah, we'll take mediocre.
Mediocre anytime. All right.
Am I going to apply thermal paste on the CPU? Well, we're not using that fan, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the video. If you're just joining us, we've got a liquid cooler that we're going to use instead. So there's no sense putting any thermal material on it at this point because we're just testing. And then when that CPU fan comes off, we will apply. We may not need to apply thermal material. It may already be applied to the water block. I haven't used the EVGA all-in-one cooler, so I don't know if they come pre-applied or not. But I think if you go back and watch the beginning of the video, I have to assume you missed that where that was already explained. Let's see. 21H2 is now. No, 21H2 is not right now. The people that are on the insider, the preview people get it, but not the general public.
Right.
It's not been released to the general public yet. Only if you're on a preview ring, then you'll get it right now. I will let you know when. I mean, unless it was released earlier today, but the real easy way to tell is to just go to Google and type in download Windows 10, and it takes you to Microsoft's website for creating a Windows 10 ISO file. And it says the update is for the Windows 10 May 2021 update. That's 21H1. When 21H2 is officially released, then this website will represent the November 2021 update.
Because you get 2 a year, spring and fall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's October, sometimes
This
it's
is
November
November.
on the fall. There's still time in October for it to come out. But just by going to this website, that means if you have 21H2 now, that's because you have voluntarily gone out of your way to click the options in Windows Update to put you into the preview releases. Now, most people don't go in there and do that. You've done this to yourself. You're not a victim other than your own choices, and that is not normal. Just because you got it, do not assume everybody goes and plays in their Windows Update settings. That's something very, very few people do. So when it is finally released to the public, it'll just appear normally as any other update. And we'll be sure to let you know when that happens. So what I want to do now is go ahead and plug this into the network and go ahead and grab our updates. Speaking of updates, let me go back to camera 1 over here and let me step around.
I'm quite parched, so I must get a drink.
Yes, step away, grab yourself something to drink. This is our Windows 10 flash drive, which I'm done with. And then I'm going to grab an Ethernet cable. Really digging these really thin Ethernet cables. I love these.
Yeah,
Slowly
yeah.
been converting everything over to them.
Yeah.
Haven't had a single problem, as far as I can tell. They're
No.
identical in every way. But
I love
lighter
them. I think you either gave me a couple of them or told me where to order them. Love them. Love them.
Yeah, so lightweight. They don't really.
Well, plus,
Tangle up as much.
on the top of baseboards, there's always a little shelf.
Yeah.
So, it just,
You can run it
if you
across
want
the top
to
of the
run baseboard, and if you wanted then to paint it, have it white, or they may make it white.
Yeah, they give them an
Then you just use those little nail hooks, and it's beautiful. Very clean and nice. So
I'm going to move us to the other side so we can see this.
you should put a link to those. Those Ethernets, a link to Amazon or wherever you get them.
They should already be in my Amazon store. You can buy them on Amazon. I also will buy them from Monoprice. I don't have an affiliate account with Monoprice, but you can get some great deals on cables at Mono, M-O-N-O, Price. Check them out. They also have stereo cables, audio video cables.
But because I'm all about the hardwire, I must have, what do I have? I got 460, I got 20 full-size Ethernet. It's like spaghetti. I mean, this would just be so nice and clean, easy to bundle. I got to do it. Maybe I'll ask Santa Claus to bring me some in my stocking. Yes, very
Just Ethernet cables?
Yeah.
That's all you want?
And a lump of coal. All right. That's if he can get the cables off the 80 ships that are off the LA.
Yeah, right.
The
Probably
80
more arriving every day,
yeah,
too.
the 80 ships that are parked there.
Yeah, waiting to be unloaded.
The reporter drove by one of them, and the guy was standing on the deck and yelled up, "How long have you been sitting here?" And the guy yelled back, "A month." I'm like, oh my God.
And he's going to get paid that whole time,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Any shore leave? What's that?
Yeah, good luck getting to the shore. Jason Willis says, I've missed his contribution, but it has scrolled off of the screen, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Must have been some time back. So, or the chat has been really active. So my viewer activity, no, viewer activity is still not working on YouTube. I apologize, Jason. Thank you for your contribution. I don't know what you contributed, but I apologize that I missed it, and I appreciate your support. James wants to know, Carey, would you and Mitch consider doing a Christmas build dressed as Santas?
Carey can be the elf.
What do you think my rabbi will do?
I'll be Santa. He can be my elf.
Okay,
Height jokes? We're going.
was that what we're doing?
Yeah. No. Yeah, we Carey and I thought about Halloween, but again, Halloween is on a Sunday this year, and we usually broadcast on Friday, and I'm like,
It really interferes with my tormenting children on that day.
yeah, so I'm like,
It's a good day to go out and torment children. With COVID, I didn't see many kids out last year.
And then was it last year we did a New Year's Day build? I think we did. That was last year on July 1st.
Jesus, my life that pathetic that on New Year's Day that's the best thing I had to do. That's just sad.
Yeah, because I remember
do it again?
Because I remember not drinking too much. People are, why aren't you drinking? Celebrate. I said I got a show to do. tomorrow.
Listen
so,
to you, Bishop. I got a show to do tomorrow. I can't be hungover.
Yeah.
I
So
thought you were hungover now.
I actually thought of wearing the ice pack, with the string. I'm so hungover.
The red.
Yeah. I'm so hungover, but I can make it.
Right Star Man just contributed $10. Says, hello, guys. I haven't been able to see you live in a while. Yeah, I haven't seen that name for a while. Thanks, Roy Star Man. I think these updates are going to take a while.
Yeah.
What's going on? I can't really see it. I mean, it looks like it's doing something. We'll go full screen for us so we can take a little better look. What's going on? Oh, I got to hit install down here. Oh, no, I don't. No. Downloading. This is pending install. Sometimes there's like a button down here. Then there's view optional updates. Let's click that and see what's over here. Oh, just a network card driver for Realtek. And now it's installing that one. And then it should, yeah, see, there's the install button I was looking for.
Yeah.
Now, here we go. Now we're installing things. Good. All right. While we're waiting for these updates, other questions we'd be happy to address. Carlos wants to know, can I use your AMD tool? Can I use my AMD tool on this build? Yeah, to get the latest chipset driver from AMD. Absolutely. I do all the updates from Windows first before I use that tool. And I'll also use the Windows 10 optimizer. And I'll even use the Netflix tool, since if you're going to take it, you'll probably want it on a network with your house. Yeah. But I told it no when we first started out to turn all that off. Okay. But the Uncle Carey's Netflix tool turns that all back on. It's a security thing. Jason Willis said he contributed $5 and said best bust build ever. I think he meant best.
Beast?
The bust build is like on a different channel. I think that's on OnlyFans. Oh. We do the bust build over there. I think he meant best build. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. What's your view on turning TPM on in Windows 10? I mean, why turn it on if you don't need it? I don't have a single client running TPM. So it's your personal choice, right? It's like picking the color of a car, I guess.
Does that stand for toilet paper money? No. No.
If you're short enough on toilet paper, money can be used.
I break into fortune cookies, but that's all right.
Wow. You must have very delicate fingers. Let's see, where are we at on this? Where's my full screen? There it is. Oh, we're still installing a little something there. Oh, cumulative update does always take a while. Wow.
Your internet seems faster now.
It is faster now.
What'd you do?
I fixed it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you pull out the big 8 antenna? No? Did you?
Nope. I'm just basically making the broadcasting internet the main internet for the entire building by plugging it into the bat wing over there.
Oh, okay.
And then the internet in this building isn't really being used at all right now.
Right. Gotcha.
We'll see if I get in trouble, but I think it's going to be okay. As long as I don't hog up too much bandwidth.
Yeah. But again, these updates used to go on for, so.
And that's another reason why I did it.
Right. The show.
And it's easy to just unplug the source and plug a different source into the Batwing. Yeah. It's a Netgear Nighthawk. We call it the Batwing. And we have a couple routers to test, but not today.
You're going to do it live on Amazon.
I might not do it live, but I will definitely put the reviews on Amazon. Yeah. I'm not quite sure if I'll do it live. The thing about the live videos is because of the interaction, they go on longer. And I really need the videos to be shorter for Amazon to attach them to the product page. So we have a couple of routers to review. One from ASUS. Two from ASUS. That's going to arrive at your house Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then, so there's 2 ASUS routers, the same model. One has a Gundam paint job, which adds $50 to the price.
That's white.
Yeah, it's white and red. And then we also have the router that Ryan in Nevada sent to me, which I requested, the TP-Link with the 8 antennas around it. And I was going to use that, and have the Batwing for one internet and the other one for the other internet. And then I thought, well, that's going to be an interference in radio signal. It's a tight spot for that many radio signals. So I thought, I'll just switch it out manually.
Can you get rid of the bat wing and put the 8 antenna one
sure.
over there?
Yeah,
I mean,
but I don't want to.
no.
I like the bat
Yeah,
wing. It's running really well.
Well, so.
You know, my testing on these routers will be pretty limited. And of course, the testing is sort of irrelevant anyway, because depending on the environment you're in, the distance I get may not be the distance you get for a number of reasons. The materials of the building that you're in, the size of the building you're in, where you place the router, what receiving unit you have in your wireless receiving device, be that your phone or your laptop or your tablet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many variables to just say, well, this, I can read the manufacturer's specs and go, well, here's the maximum speed and maximum distance under best case scenarios. But what it's going to do for you, can't say. But I do know that they're good brands. They've been around a long time. They've got solid reputations. And I think both of these routers are going to be recommended if they fit your needs. And I'll explain why one might fit your needs over the other. And we'll get into that when I do the review. Michael Dane with a $5 contribution said, here's $5 for Mitch, the ancient one, and Carey, the oldie but goodie. Just kidding. Happy Halloween. So you're ancient and I'm old? Is that how that works?
Something like that.
What's beyond ancient? Fossil?
Yeah, fossil, yeah.
And then beyond that? When do I reach deity?
Beyond that's dirt nap. All right. Worm food. All right, so...
Matt says, why, when I leave a location, why do I have to manually set my time zone? Should be a checkbox that you can say to set the time zone manually. If you're getting on local Wi-Fi, actually it shouldn't matter even if you're on a cellular phone. The time zone should, if you have time zone set automatically, it should adjust. I've had some trouble with that working correctly too.
Well, and considering Arizona never changes, we don't change.
Right, but when I drive to Michigan, I'm changing
zones,
time zones 3 times.
Yeah, you don't have that set to where it rolls over on your phone. I do.
No, it's fine on the phone. The problem is on the laptop. When I go to the hotel, I open the laptop. I'm still getting Arizona time. And even though it says auto sync my time zone, it's not doing it. But it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I just say, well, change the time zone to this. You know, minus. Arizona's -7, and as I drive east and north, I'm losing an hour, so that'll be -8, and I'll lose an hour again. It'll be, or is it the other way? It's -6, and then -5 from Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. Yeah, so I think it's the other way. Anyway, I don't know, but if somebody has an answer to that in the chat, that's been something I dealt with.
You would think in the hotel when you log onto their Wi-Fi,
based on their IP address, it should say that's an IP that comes from this city and state.
And this time, and suddenly, the time just goes onto that time.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work, and I don't know why it didn't. Let's restart this to let these updates take effect.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but it's such a minor little inconvenience.
If I want to look at if I want to look at the time, I'll look at my phone.
No, I do want to look at the time, but I'm saying to fix it, it's just you right-click on your clock on your time, change time and date, click, and then select. If auto time zone is on, turn it off, turn it back on again. If that does not fix it, then turn it off. Set your time zone manually. I don't know why that's happening.
Because I thought it had Pacific, Mountain, then the Chicago time, and then Eastern. Yeah, where you tell it what part of the country you're in. I'm in Mountain
Chicago,
State.
I think, is Central, isn't it?
Central, yeah. I'm in Central versus Michigan. I'm in Eastern. You just click Eastern. And
Okay, let's see what happens now.
Any more updates? He said, beyond dirt nap is dust. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Thanos. All right, let's see. Back to Windows Update. I hate this thing.
Few more left, you think?
I don't know. Let's see what it does. I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it downloaded a lot quicker, didn't it?
Yeah, jeez. Whatever you did, beads and rattles, it's working. Please be faster, please.
Check for updates again. All right. I'll just get this out of the way. All right, so that's all our updates. Now I'll grab my utilities flash drive, and that's going to have the Uncle Carey's utilities, right?
We'll get some.
And VLC. We want VLC on this, don't we?
Oh, it's a must.
So that's all on my utilities flash drive right here. It's kind of hard to plug a USB in without something to hold that motherboard steady. It's a easy way to cause some damage, so maybe don't do as you see me do. USB drive. All right, so we want all 3 of these. Oh, wrong keyboard. Just drag it across then. If that's how it wants to be, then that's what we'll do. Drag those across, and I want VLC. Should have the latest version right here. That's installing. We can run this. And while that's running, we can run this. Multitasking, man.
Ah, the chip can handle it.
Did you get all that?
Yeah.
And we're going to restart with all those changes, and then when that comes back up, we'll run the install the AMD chipset tool. So make sure we get the latest AMD chipset on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those whole Uncle Carey suite of tools are very inexpensive. They're available at d7xtech.com. Be sure and they're inexpensive. It's a great way of supporting the channel, and they're not magic. You can do everything these tools do by hand. They just, when you're doing a lot of it, like I do.
You need the need for speed.
It's just very repetitious, right? It's the same old registry tweaks and stuff I do. So it's all just automated. So here's my AMD tool. Now this one has to install, unlike the other ones which were portable. I got to accept my own license agreement. Have you purchased a license? No, I have not personally. Would you like to? No, I would not. Okay, there's an update. Do you want it? Yes, I would. Have you purchased a product? No. Would you like to? No.
Give me the update. Chop, chop.
There it goes.
That's mighty chop. Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's. I might have to talk to Nick about that. Kind of a weird little software thing going on there. I used to check this by hand. See, now I don't check it by hand.
Right.
It's just $5. You pay $5 and it won't bother you anymore. And this will start automatically every time you start your computer. So if there is a new chipset, it'll alert you immediately. If you don't like it to start, just uninstall it when you're done with it, install it again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or prevent it from running at startup, if that's your choice. But the whole point of it is to run it. So because you never know, there's no rhyme or reason when AMD releases chipset drivers that I've been able to determine. And those chipset drivers can make a huge difference in performance, reliability, and security of your AMD system. I've had customers tell me their AMD systems never ran so fast. They might have had the system a year, and they're calling me. They're like, "Hey, it kind of feels slow." And one of the things I do, from cleaning out temp files, making sure all the Windows updates are in, check for newer AMD chipset.
And then they're like, "What did you do?" Because it's running, Great.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a BIOS update. You've got to be careful though, because some BIOS updates, as was mentioned, if they're there for newer chip compatibility, you may lose the compatibility of your current chip. So this is only on the AMD platform. It doesn't seem to happen on the Intel platform that I'm aware of. But that's pretty much it. We restart one more time. And you'll notice when we restart this time that AMD chipset notifier is going to come up and annoy us. So I think I'm going to remove it. I'm going to uninstall it.
I appreciate it.
And that's the great thing about a free piece of software that's safe, is that you can try it. If you don't want to pay the $5, that's fine. Just, you can install it again. There's no limit to how many times you can install or uninstall it. But it's only going to bother you that one time, and it's done. But if you're going through like a configuration like we're doing, we're going to be rebooting this a lot, and that's going to get really annoying. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out along with other apps I don't like. So I don't like, well, here's the chipset software. Leave that in. Okay, that's what we just installed. But somewhere down here, let's see, Groove Music, we're replacing that with VLC.
Please leave Candy Crush. Just kidding.
Is Candy Crush on there?
No.
You can always go to the Microsoft Store. This office is not, this is just like a sales pitch of the office. Let's get rid of movies and TV, because that also is replaced by VLC. Mixed Reality Portal, I've never met anybody who uses that. That's something more like something you would use on a phone. Skype is also something that you would install if you need it.
Yeah. Or use Zoom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're using Zoom, you wouldn't need Skype. We'll uninstall the Xbox there and the Xbox there. The others cannot be removed, or this one, rather, can't be removed. And then Uncle Carey's AMD chipset notifier, since I don't want it to annoy us, we'll just take it out.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.
And you'll see it's super easy. It just pops out. No big deal. And it still leaves the chipset driver in there, so it served its purpose for today. And then I just take one more quick glance if there's anything else I don't want in here. And I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good. And then what we'll do is we'll go over here to storage, STORA, storage settings. Let's make sure that this is turned on, and we'll configure it to run every month. I want to free up space right now. And that's going to just free up, some of the leftover files from the Windows install and the updates. And that doesn't really get rid of all of it. We still have to do it old school if we want to do a more thorough cleaning. And I just go over here, right click on C drive, go to properties. I go to disk cleanup, and then I click cleanup system files. And you'll see, even though we've already run the cleanup, there's still a lot of data. Well, not much here, not much there. I'm going to check every one of these boxes. This is scroll down. That's nearly a gig. No, it did a pretty good job, actually. I'm a little surprised. It's going to remove 771 megs, which on 2 terabytes is nothing. If you haven't done this on your system, or if it's been a long time since you've done it, this could take over an hour to run. Right. So be prepared for that. On a new system like this, it should happen relatively quickly. And let me see what we're missing in the chat. We've been full screen and we've not been able to see the chat. So let's take a look in here and see what's happening. Doesn't look like we've missed much here. Franklin says, thank you to Carey and Mitch for all that you do. Well, thank you, Franklin. Why is Franklin not blue? Let's make sure he's a moderator in here.
He's got very good taste. All right.
That's right. Vern says he just ran the AMD chipset driver updater and he's found one he needs to install. That's why you run it. You know what I mean? Like, you would never know that there's this potential to have your computer running even better for free if all you did was knew that there was a newer driver available for your chipset.
Tom says, greetings from Tucson. I looked up fun motorcycle rides, and it actually does say, now that I got my new tires, to take a run up to Tucson and then take a run up Mount Lemmon before it gets too cold. So, you know, within the next couple of weeks, probably even before going to Rocky Point, I think I'll do that. And I can stay with my buddy who's coming over Monday to see Dune. So, yeah, I've done it in a car and I really like it. And so I think on a bike it'll be fun.
You have to let us know how that goes.
If I live, yeah, all right. So, if I don't, I'll haunt you forever. How's that? All right.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
I got enough. You're gonna have to take a number if you want to haunt me.
Yeah.
Get in line. I'm just setting the default page to go to Google, and I want the default search engine to go to Google. You know, all the way to the bottom of this, address bar and search. Right at the bottom again. It's like they purposely hide it.
Yeah. Why does Bing get top billing?
I wonder why. Why? Now we open this, should take us to Google. It does.
Sweet.
And then when we search, it'll default to a Google search, which is my preference. Interesting, the speakers are off. I want help. Where's my speaker off? And it brings up a virtual agent. Is it intelligent enough that it knows we don't have an speakers plugged in, or do we have an issue in the device manager? No, sound is loaded. So I guess it just detects that there's no speakers or headphones plugged in. And this does have built-in Bluetooth along with built-in Wi-Fi, as I think all ITX, mini ITX boards have.
So I can get a wireless keyboard and mouse. And
Camille wants to know, will there be an Uncle Carey optimizer dedicated to Windows 11? Probably, I would guess, but not yet. I wouldn't get a Bluetooth wireless keyboard and mouse for a computer.
Okay.
Typically, Bluetooth keyboards and mice are used on Apple devices or tablets or smartphones. The reason I say that is you have to pair a Bluetooth device, and then there's a little Bluetooth delay.
Oh, I don't like that.
But if you notice, when we use these wireless keyboards and mice, we just plug the dongle in. We have no pairing you have to do. Everything just plugs in and it works.
That's what I meant.
Right? Well, because there's no dongle to plug in, because you're dealing with connecting to the motherboard, to the Bluetooth on the board.
Right.
That's where you have to configure it each time for each system you want to use it on. So for someone like me, that would be quite difficult. Let me step away from it. I'm going to let you entertain the troops.
Okay. All right. So what's another ride that I saw? Going up to the Grand Canyon. That's one. But that can get a little chilly, so I don't know whether I would go now, the Grand Canyon, but I've been there, driven up there in a car. So, but on a bike, that would be fun. And yeah. I feel a lot more confident with the new tires on. Very grippy and nice. So, yes, indeed. Well, while Carey's buying Girl Scout cookies, chat, you can tell me where in the world you're watching from. How's that? That'll be good. And I'll take a little look-see to where everybody's watching from.
All right, just had a little package delivery there. It was weird. I don't get packages here, so that was not expected. Okay, so
I just asked where everybody's watching from. So Finland and New York.
How many people are watching?
Vermont. Probably 7. All right.
582.
Ooh.
Look at that. Let's go ahead and, let's see, let's shut down. Oh, wrong mouse. Where am I? I'm right here. Let's go full screen on that. And let's go ahead and power this down because I guess we're ready to start prepping for the case, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get rid of all this. This bugs me.
Oh, yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, you can put it back if you want. But me, I no likey.
Do they still sell that on your website, the little keyboard and, little keyboard that you like for like $30? The little one, the very nice one that you gave me one.
That's this one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's that one.
So unfortunately, they don't sell this one anymore. They have it the extended, with the 10 key.
With the 10 key, yeah.
But they sell this one, which is similar, but I prefer the other one. This is the Jellycomb. This is the Artec.
And they quit selling the Jellycomb.
Well, no, they still sell it, but it has the 10 key.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not short. It's
don't
a longer
like
plank.
it. Yeah.
I like the shorter plank.
Height jokes again.
Yeah.
So we're turning that off, and then we'll have to unplug. We'll have to unplug everything because we're going to get the case up on here.
Yeah. So that means we're done with the utilities flash drive. So that'll go back over with.
We got people from all over New Jersey.
We got people from all over New Jersey.
Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Will you put that back in the drawer?
Wisconsin. Which one? This one or this one?
The middle drawer.
No. Netherlands.
Will you hand me the power cable out of the back of the power supply? Thank you. Deal with that later.
Craig Little says 10 key for me. Blech. Don't like it.
Well, the problem is, as a working technician, to have a keyboard, I've got a limited work. No matter if you're a working technician, you have a workbench, and your workbench is only so big. So to have so much space consumed by just the keyboards is very impractical. It really gets in the way, and it makes your job harder. So as a technician, the appeal of these compact, like 60% style keyboards that are wireless, that share the same single dongle as the mouse, help expedite repairs. That's why I don't like the Bluetooth stuff. Now, if you're a home user, as you probably are, and you have a Bluetooth mouse and you want to use it on 3 different things, you certainly can do that. But for me personally, I need something I can move around to multiple things that I may never see again once they're out of the shop. So I don't want to leave the pairing behind or have to remember to unpair it. It's just, and also the delay. I'm not a big fan of the delay either. And those have built-in batteries as well. So you can just simply, built-in rechargeable batteries. They come with a USB cable. You plug them into a USB port. In about an hour or so, they charge up. And they're good for me for about 4 to 6 months before they need to be charged again. So I'm a big fan of those. And I wish I'd have bought more of them had I known that we're going to stop making them. I'm hoping they'll bring them back or something better will come out. Now, the Artec isn't bad. It's not bad. I just prefer the Jellycomb. And I can't really tell you why. I just do.
So
Just cause.
here's that and that back.
All right, let's move this out of the way
Okay.
because we're going to need some room to bring that case back up here again.
Yep.
And then I want to move the power supply. We're done with this for testing because we're going to use a completely different power supply. And we are done with the CPU, so I will put that back to where it goes. Because I suspect we'll be seeing it again in the future. What do you think?
Yeah. How heavy? What would you think that case is? 5 pounds? 7 pounds, man?
Oh, it's not heavy at all.
No, it's aluminum.
Let me see. It's about 12 pounds, I'd say.
I'll switch.
I think the website, if you look in the video notes below this video, it'll take you to Newegg, and it should have all those specifications, dimensions, and weight should be on there. Now, what the weight's going to be when we load it with parts, well, that's yet to be determined.
Now you want to take the top off, right?
Yeah, I've never taken this apart before. I've never seen any build videos on it. I did see that Maximum PC Magazine is the one that introduced me to this case. They did a build in it. And I'm not sure, it's a couple months ago, fairly recently. And I said, well, that's different. That's unique.
Yeah.
And I looked on YouTube and I didn't really see anybody building in it. And I thought, well, I'll make a video out of it and maybe the folks over at Maximum PC will enjoy it. Zach Story is the Editor-in-Chief, yeah, and I've communicated with him in the past, and I hope the beginning of a long friendship, like with Gordon Maung, who works for PC World now, who was with Maximum PC for many, many years, including being the editor-in-chief. So Zach seems like a real genuine, sincere guy. I think he's in England, but I won't hold that against him.
Yeah. These look like little screws. I don't know. Will your driver
Yeah,
fit?
I'm going to just try and figure this out.
Yeah.
Now, this did come with some instructions. Where did I put them? I set them down over here. Here's what we get for. Oops. Here's what we get. It's like one page. It's not even double-sided. You literally get one page.
Okay.
So let me bring it up to the camera. We'll show people what this look like. And then we'll go back to the Magic Cam for some close-ups here.
One page.
Yeah, it looks like the top is going to come off.
With the 4 screws, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie.
They look tiny, so you may need your other little screwdriver, yeah.
Well, you think the JIS is going to be needed, huh?
I think this tip's not going to work. Try it, but I mean,
I think you're probably going to be
right.
right. Can I see my glasses, please?
Yeah, glasses, yeah.
I can't see so good.
So I think you may need the JIS, but
So you're going to prepare for that?
Yeah.
Let's go to Magic Cam.
let me fire up the drone. Here we go.
Why is Magic Cam not taking over?
Sound effects.
There. Okay.
Okay. You try one side, I'll try another. Yeah, it's the little one. Don't force it, but it's it. Okay.
We're good. We don't need the little one. Okay, these are tiny. Please
Steady, yeah.
don't lose those. And let's bring this around like this. Now, in theory, this should lift straight off.
According to, I'll show you here, chat. We've got some, what do you call those bars?
Just supports. Supports. Yeah.
Yeah, here,
Those are your technical supports.
technical supports that need to come off so we can have, much easier access. Here, right here, it'll fit 2 3.5-inch mechanical, although, if you really want a lot of storage, movies, TV shows, things like that. So you could fit 2 mechanicals in there and then 1 SSD up here, or you can do, 1 SSD up here and 2 on the inside for 3 if you wanted. I would do 2.
Yeah, basically, you put 2 3.5-inch drives in here, and then you can add your 2.5-inch drive up there.
Yeah.
And then there's just something's holding that in. It's holding that in.
Screws.
Yeah, there's a couple of screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this whole piece will come out. The motherboard that we've got is going to go right in here. And as you can see, these supports are a little in the way. So we're going to take out these
Screws. Yeah.
we're going to take all of them out, just so we have an open concept here.
Keep those screws separate from.
They should all be the same.
Oh,
Go ahead and take a look at them. Do they look exactly the same?
Yes.
Okay, then we can mix them together then. Now these just lift off.
And we got much easier access, so.
So in the motherboard box, where is the motherboard box? We need to get the I/O shielding.
Okay. Coming up.
There we go. That's what we need. Hey, for an Amazon return board, this thing's been in great shape. Can I also get my razor? Because this is taped closed. Yo.
Cut towards Mitch. All right.
All right, so this is going to go in the back. Can you turn that around for me, or would you turn that around? I know you can. You just may not want to. Perfect. Thank you. We'll just pop that in, just like we do on any other computer case.
Don't force it. You know, I've ruined many of those by.
Well, as long as you're pushing on the corners,
Right.
you can put force in the corners, but don't put force in the center. So that's in. Then the
Can you
motherboard.
take care of your grounding straps? Even
That's
now?
a good point. Inside of here, if you look, we have grounding straps that are the other way around. Look at that. That one's, there's only the one, but that one could have gotten caught up.
Yep.
And you'd know when we put the board in, right? Because the board's going to go in like this. And you know what? I have installed it backwards. I've installed it upside down. When have I ever done that before? No big deal. Just knock it out, turn it around, put it back in. Well, that's a new one for the channel. After 13 years, I've never done that. I don't think I've done it.
Everybody got that? All right.
That wasn't me.
Okay.
So there's 4 standoffs pre-applied, pre-installed, one in each corner. That's a standard mini ITX format. It never changes. So in the box that came in the case, there's a little bag of screws, or sorry, a nice plastic holder that keeps everything separated and not touching. Ooh, that just tickles me. Now, which screws do you think we use? I don't know.
The long ones.
Fine threaded screws? Are they the coarse threaded screws? I tend to think it's going to be the coarse ones, but you know, I'm not sure. So let's do this. Let's take the board out for a minute. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Just take that out and let me just dry fit and see if these are going to be the coarse ones. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Let's try the thin ones. Here's a thin one. Appears to be the thin ones. I'll be darned. That's not what I would have guessed. Let's go ahead and put the board back in. Yeah, see that grounding tab? That was my first clue. Remember I said the grounding tab was upside down?
This one?
Yeah. See, now it's where I expect it to be, where you have to lift up on it. Can you see that? Why are we getting no signal? Something's happening.
Oh, there
we
we
just
go.
lost the. How's our battery on there? Is the battery good? Up here on this. Well, we'll keep an eye on that.
Yep.
All right, so here, this grounding strap. Remember I mentioned it was down?
Right.
And I had to push it down instead of pulling it up.
Okay.
That was my first indication that I had the IO
There's
shield
you
in
back.
upside down. Pushing the board forward because the IO shield kind of rests pretty heavily against it. And I have trapped the board under the IO, that little piece I showed you, that grounding strap.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Is it flush? I don't know.
Hmm. You know, I think it is the coarse threaded screws because that's not tightening.
Okay.
So the board must have been on enough of an angle or something. Let's see. That makes more sense to me. That is my first instinct was to use those screws, and then I must not have had it aligned good. So these are for like solid state drives and DVD drives, these fine threaded ones.
Okay.
So those will go right back in there. And we're going to use these coarse ones, which is exactly what I thought we were going to use. No big deal. Happy little mistakes.
You gonna trick or treat this year with your Bob Ross outfit?
I already did that.
Oh, okay.
It's like wearing the same outfit twice. Even if it is once a year.
You did have a voice down pretty good. I was quite.
Did you like my Bob Ross?
Yeah.
Very gentle, soft.
Yeah.
That's it. Just 4 screws hold all mini ITX boards in.
You hear?
Let's see. What do we want to do next?
How about the power supply?
Okay. Where is the power supply?
Right.
Oh, over here. Okay. Razor.
And is this considered a low pro, or it's just it's not a full size?
Right. It's SFX or small form factor. Sometimes it's called SFF.
Okay.
Or SFX. Oh, sorry. I thought you were holding that for me.
Ready for the reveal?
All right, so we got our documentation, because that's important. This is a modular power supply because I wanted to keep the case clean inside. We've got a bracket for adapting this to a full-size case if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to do that. And then this powers the power supply on if you needed to like prime a liquid pump or something, which I never use these. And then here is our tiny little power supply.
Oh, little guy. All right.
Yeah. Can I see the scissors that are in there, please? How do you think that goes in? Look at that little tiny thing.
Oh.
Which way is a fan going to go, Mitch?
Down. Because you got legs, so you got some nice.
I'm going to say it goes up.
Okay. Into the case? Or?
Yeah, because if you look at the top of the case, I was thinking about this before we started. If you look at the top of the case, see how it's vented?
Oh, gotcha.
Do you notice how it's vented on this one side but not on this side? What do you suppose that is?
I concur, yeah.
Okay. It's not just me then, right?
No. So upside down, like this. Are there nubbins for it to rest on? See, I don't see any. Yeah.
Not all cases have that.
Have that.
Not
So
necessarily required.
So it's going to be like.
But there's a sticker on there we need to peel
Yeah.
off.
But it's going to be hanging by the 4 screws, which is, with a little.
Hanging?
Well, it won't be on the ground like that. It's too low. So in other words, it's going to.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't
So
it?
it's going to be.
Oh.
I
Wow.
don't like that. So, but I mean,
Wow.
take the sticker.
Okay, this sticker says it's eco mode, which means that the fan may stop spinning to provide 0 dB noise
so
and
we
not
want-
to call tech
Yeah,
support.
so we want quiet. Everybody got that? Quiet. Quiet. I said quiet. Get some schmutz on there.
Just a little bit of that sticker doesn't want to go. Okay, so yeah, so that's gonna put in there a little
Little space underneath it.
yeah, that's interesting.
Don't like it.
It's gonna be okay,
Yeah,
because
it
it's
could
not
be, yeah.
heavy. It's not
No,
like it's a
no,
big
it's
heavy
pretty
power
light.
supply.
I mean,
But that is weird. That prevents any vibration, right?
yeah.
That's why it maybe doesn't have those. First thing you noticed was it didn't have any resting rubber feet. in the bottom of the case, like a lot of cases have. Now, did they give us any screws with the power supply?
Don't think so.
I took everything out, right? Are they in here? Oh, they're in the bag with the
650 watts.
yeah, 650 is plenty,
Or just
so that if you wanted to add a graphics card later, you could, unless it was a super high-end graphics card.
just streaming Netflix, Hulu Plus.
Why do we have so many screws? Oh, one for the bracket and one for the power supply. So they give us twice as many screws as I'm used to. Do me a favor, let's take the spare screws and this power on thing. Let's put that in your drawer to your left, and then I will use the red Saber driver. And I gotta get my glasses.
And I probably have to hold it.
Yeah, why not?
You know.
Oh, you know what's interesting here, Mitch? This will take 6 screws.
Well, then I don't worry about it being off.
I've never seen that before.
Well, then I don't worry about it being off of the ground.
Normally we go in the corners, right?
Yeah.
But look, there's one right here in the middle. I need that bag of screws back. That's wicked. There's a first. What am I going to do with 2 screws? I have 2 left over. Well, it's definitely the right power supply to buy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although they would have given us enough screws here.
Yeah.
Same exact screw. They did give us 6 of them specifically for that purpose. So I guess it doesn't matter if your power supply comes. Most power supplies come with 4. This one came with 8. I thought that was weird. But then because it has the bracket, in this case, because it doesn't have anything for the power supply to rest on, the screws are holding it.
It about a quarter of an inch above the bottom plate.
Can I see my yellow driver?
The yellow. Don't want to over tighten, but you want to.
Yeah, when I'm a little tighter than
Yeah,
what the
you want to
setting is. Ooh, that one was really loose. See, that's why I'm checking them. Perfect.
All right, just like that.
Let's put these in the motherboard box.
the motherboard box.
And this adapter, we're never going to use this, so that'll go. As far as hooking up power to the motherboard, trying to think on the orientation here. Graphics card would go here, therefore I guess the radiator would need to go over here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
The
it
radiator would have to go here. The graphics card, if we had one, would go here. So we can hook up some of these front port umbilicals right now. Look at, they zip tied this closed. Can you give me my red angle cutters? Thank you. All right, what do we have here? We have a power switch and a power LED. And we said that
Of course,
was,
we'll have to take this off as well.
oh, that's true too.
You thought it wouldn't fit with that it would be too high.
Yeah, it actually does work, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? So,
But it'll be louder, I think.
yeah, versus the radiator.
And it'll be, the radiator we're putting in is RGB. It'll have a nice glow coming through those little holes in the case. You'll see a little glow. So you'll have some RGB effect, which you can turn off if you find it annoying. So the power LED is a tight fit. And then the power switch goes right next to that. Like that. And somehow we're going to route this cable, I don't know, around. And then this is our USB 3.0 for the front of the case.
So the two USBs on the front.
And that just goes right. Can you see that? Right there.
there's a notch, so you can only put it on one way.
Just like that. Not quite sure that's gonna clean up. What is this funky thing? Oh, that's USB Type C. This board isn't gonna have that. This board's too old for that. Yeah, we won't be using USB Type C here.
How do you like them
That's
apples?
it. That's all there is.
Okay.
Where's our front? Well, we don't have front audio on this either, do we?
No, just 2 USBs and the USB Type C. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. It's not something you would plug headphones in. I'm just realizing this isn't quite lined up the way I'd like it to be.
It's your fault. All right.
Oh, it's totally my fault. These should be showing through. Can I see the red driver again? Let me trade you. I'll give you those back. And if I can get the red driver.
They didn't poke through?
No, they need to come out.
Okay.
So it's an easy thing to fix right now.
So don't beat yourself up for mistakes. Take your time, notice it, you'll notice it, and just...
It's part of the process. It's how we learn.
Yeah.
This is an unfamiliar hardware setup for me. So taking what I know and I'm adapting what I know on the fly. And it's not working out 100% in my favor, but
You're learning something. Okay.
yeah, whether I like it or not. Take all 4 screws out and reposition this motherboard. It might have been why I was fighting with it so much on pushing it
Yeah.
so much. See how it wiggles there?
Yeah.
Those should push right through there. See that? Now I can kind of get a fingernail under them.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm still not getting caught up under that grounding strap.
Right.
And then-
But now that the holes, I can see the holes, yeah, line up. Boom.
Yeah, I still have to push it forward
Yeah.
though. There. Just double check it again. Yeah. Yeah, much better. One thing I like about the mini ITX systems is that there is only 4 screws
Yep.
on all of them. Whereas with the micro ATX and ATX boards, it varies depending on the model. Okay, so we've got the motherboard installed. We've got our switch hooked up. Let's give it some power and maybe just test boot it at this point. What do you think? And then we
Okay.
can do the cooler.
Yep.
So this is our motherboard power connector, and we might immediately be in trouble. We might just be done.
Oh,
There's no way that's going to reach. Oh, EBGA, why did you do this to me? What have I ever done to you? This is not good.
not long enough. To reach from here to here.
Behind you on the floor is an extension, RGB extension cable. It's in a little box, black box against the wall.
That thing?
Uh-huh. That's the Leon Lee Strymer, and it's the only extension I've got, and I guess we're going to use it. Oh, getting old?
Aren't you already? Okay.
So basically, this will plug into the motherboard. Like that. Then this will plug in here, like that. And then we should be able to reach the back of the power supply. I think I'm going to have to stand where you are, Mitch, to see, because I
Okay.
can't see.
Okay.
Now, am I going to have the same problem with the 8-pin power? Because I don't have an RGB one of those.
Fingers crossed.
It's VGA. Oh, CPU. Whoop, whoa, that just went flying. It's going everywhere.
Did you use this Computex on a build or something like that? Or
I
you
used it on a review, and then I was going to put it into the robot's foot, and I never got around to it. So it's still waiting. It's in standby, basically. So now the question is, will this CPU power connector, which I cannot see, it's all the way in the middle. Will that reach? No, it will not reach. What a bummer. What a bummer.
That's why we do it live.
I'll tell you what, this is a good power supply. I mean, I'm liking how it was packaged. And I understand why the cables are so short, because this is, you think it's a mini ITX, you're gonna have a tiny little case. They don't think you're gonna stretch everything out lengthwise. So I fully understand that. And you can buy a different power supply that's gonna come with longer cables, or you can buy extension cables for, I think just these two things is all we need the extension cables for. Indeed.
I said,
Well, just for giggles, let's hook it up. We'll hook it up anyway. And what we have to do is we just have to take the screws out of the power supply and just kind of set it aside so we can power this on and make sure that it works. So can I have the red driver again, please? And I also need
since we're not going to have a graphics card, you could always put a couple of pieces of Velcro, right? And
no.
Well, no, yeah, because you got to have it, to that. Gotcha.
Got to be able to plug it in.
Well, you take these out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's going to flop around.
Right.
This is just for the live video. I will just order a couple of extension cables off Amazon and be done with it. But it'll take a couple days for those to arrive. So the question is, what can I MacGyver in this instant to make this work?
Yeah.
So I'm going to plug this in just to make it look pretty.
Okay.
Since I'm using it, let's use it properly. Like that. And now we'll just, for now,
Let me hold on to it so it doesn't drop.
and just, go ahead and just set it over closer to the board if you would, please. And I'll just give that back to you. And now this will reach without a problem. As long as the fan is up and it can breathe, as long as this is interfering with this, this should light up and work now. And then I'll just run power to this right through the hole here. And I have a power cable down here somewhere. What did I do with it? Here's our HDMI cable and our network cable. Power cable. Just run it right here like that. Flip that switch on. Keyboard and mouse. We still need a keyboard and mouse, so we'll go back to the Arctech again. Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead and plug that into the front USB for me. We'll check it and make sure that that works. You notice how we're testing it in stages, how we didn't just slap everything together and say, let's just see what happens, because if it doesn't boot, we don't know if we got bad RAM, bad BIOS, bad chip, bad motherboard. So by doing it in stages and testing it along the way, we're going to verify that everything's good before we change the cooler.
Okay.
Right? We want to make sure everything we've done so far is working. If I hit this power button right here,
Ooh.
there's a little red LED in the center of the power button. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, you want to switch cameras so that we can see that it loads up, or you're going to assume it'll go right to Windows?
Oh, I'm sure it's going
Yeah,
to Windows, but if you come around here, come look at the front of the case. This power button, I like how they light this up
Yeah, very classy.
right here. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
And then if I switch over to the HDMI input, yeah, we're already in Windows. Go ahead and go back around the other side there. Do you need a break? You need to, okay. So
Did you say they make an RGB power cable, that has lights through the actual power? No.
So you can get this in let me go back to the wireless kit. This RGB blinking light, you can buy it with video power too.
Oh,
so you get
gotcha.
the 8-pin
Right,
video
gotcha.
power. It's not 8-pin for the CPU, which is what I thought it was when I saw it. Like, who wants to? So that when your graphics card is there, you can have both the graphics card power, and then on this version, you have a switch here on the back. And when I push the buttons, it changes the brightness. Come over here and push this button, it changes the speed.
Gotcha.
And then the last button changes the pattern of the lighting.
Okay. I like that. That's pretty cool, where each one is stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Or that, yeah. A lot of different choices. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's going to cycle through all the colors. Then you have solid colors if you don't want it to blink. And you get the full rainbow effect there.
Skittles. All right.
And then sort of a,
Fading, yeah.
yeah. And then that's the one I obviously like.
Right.
Anyway, just complete nonsense, waste of time. But I needed the extension. Well, I guess I don't need it now because of what we've done here, but I will order some proper extensions. But that's the Leon Lee Strymer. They're about $50 for this stupid RGB. That's what's in here, by the way. That's the stupid RGB.
Ah, yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, so just then the cooler is all we have to do. I'm going to just tap this power button and Windows 10 should cycle off. There it goes. See it switch off?
Yep.
And then what I'll do is I'll unplug power from it. We're going to take the heat sink off and then we'll put the liquid cooler on. How's that for a plan?
Yeah. I'll get it.
I think I'm going to unplug everything.
Okay.
You can leave the keyboard and mouse plugged in. So with this case, it came with a PCIe riser card, so you can move the graphics card horizontally, because there's no way you can sit a graphics card in like that. It has to go in this way. And so that's why they've included this piece, which we're not using on this build because we're not going to use a discrete graphics card on it. But you definitely want to keep it with the case. It's paired to the case. Now, when it comes to installing the cooler, I'm trying to make sure that I have the right side of the case selected here. Now, you'll see in the documentation, it shows the power supply up, fan up rather, on the power supply. And then it shows if you're using the liquid cooler that it's going to go on this side where the power button is, which is where I thought it was going to go. And that the radiator is basically going to sit right onto the bottom of the case. If you look here at the radiator, you bolt the fans to the radiator, and then from underneath the case, it looks like we're going to take the bottom off of it. And then we're going to use the screws to secure the radiator right down here. If you look down at the bottom of the case here, there's some slots. See them right here? Those are your standard slots for radiators. And the bottom of the case is covering it. So we will have to take the bottom of the case off. However, the good news is we can prep this. It should be pretty simple that we put the fans on one side and secure it to the case from the other side. So that's a real easy radiator install. I like that.
Here you go.
All right, so we need some desk space for this. I'll tell you what, let me move this out of the way right now.
Oh, this is one of these slideys, I think.
We're going to come back to that in a moment. And then all these cables are extras that we don't need. Well, yeah, we shouldn't need any of these. So I'll just Velcro them together. Oh, it's just big enough. And I'll keep that with the motherboard box so we keep all these parts together. Okay, so this is my first time using an EVGA liquid cooler. I need the razor, please.
Oh.
These can go over here, too. Oh, look at that.
Patient.
Other mounting hardware. Only one baggie.
Does it have compound?
Yes, it has thermal compound already applied. It's a big water block. It feels like the fans are already attached. What the heck?
They are.
What the heck?
Well, isn't that slick?
They're not tight, though.
Oh.
Oh, I guess they are tight. They're already attached. That's a new one. And you know what? I think they're attached on the proper side, because if we put this in the case like this, then this is going to go over to the CPU over here. Right?
Gotcha.
And then we're going to screw the radiator to the bottom of the case that way. So this is already out of the box exactly how we need it.
So then the air is being drawn down? Yeah.
Down.
Down.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was easy to prep.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes I'm like, well,
Right.
where do I want to put the fans? This
Right.
side or that side? And I want to turn them this way or that way. Sometimes I like my cables to come out together, but here, they've not done that, have they? We've got one cable here. Where's the other one? Right here. So they're both oriented exactly the same way. Sometimes I like to turn 190 degrees so the cables are together, but look at that. They've already applied thermal compound for us. That's why there's a cover on this to keep it clean. And they've already attached our fans.
Well, I'll take
What's
that.
left?
Yeah, I'll take that so you can lift the case back
That's
up on the
fantastic.
desk.
Did I say fantastic?
Yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, here's the problem, though.
Okay.
I got to take the bottom off of this case, and the power supply is going to flop around.
Oh, yeah.
So I think what we will do, here's where, if I had this to do all over again, I would have started with the radiator now that I know this. I wonder if, can I make this fit? Oh, there's no way that's fit. Okay. Just unplug that cable. And I'm just going to put 2 screws in this to hold it. Just one in each corner should be more than enough for what we're about to do. Perfect. All right, now I need to take these screws out here, just like we did on the top. One here. One here. I need to rotate this. Same thing. Knew I was cutting it close. I'm right on the edge of the corner. One there, and I just dropped it.
What a catch.
Yeah. Without my glasses even. Okay, you're keeping those all together?
Right here.
Excellent. Now this should just lift right out of it. should simply...
I see screws on the bottom.
Oh, there's screws holding it underneath? Interesting. Okay. Will you hand me my glasses? I see holes, but I don't see screws. Oh, there's no screw here. I wonder if it fell out. It looks like one of them fell out. See that?
Yeah.
I wonder if they gave us extras. I wonder if all these have to come out. Certainly appears they all have to come out. That should be it.
And there's our little MVM storage.
Hey, that's pretty cool that you have access, that they cut that out wide enough.
Yeah.
Well thought out. And then here's the grooves. And you can see they did the same thing over on the video card side. I guess if you wanted to put a radiator over there, you could.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to put it over here just like they recommend. So to do that now, flip this. Let's go this way. Benefit of the camera. So these are going to have to be routed a little differently, aren't they? First of all, we're not using this one, this build. And can this just go this way? Yep. And can this one go around the other way? Apparently that's going to have to be the way we cable manage this.
Okay.
It's a lot cleaner. Okay, power LED and power switch are back on and routed around this area for the radiator. So let me see the radiator and see how we want to do this. This has to go in this way. We want the pipes to be closest to the CPU. Look at that. And then that will just go...
Does the motherboard have enough fan headers, or you need a splitter? Or
Well, it's going to plug into the water pump, I bet.
Okay.
It's going to plug to the motherboard. Fans are going to plug into here.
Yep.
So we're good there. A little concerning about the extra cable here. When this sits down, how are we going to not interfere with the lid? Just to look at it the other way. Maybe that's the way to go, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go.
But then you got to turn the fans around, right, for the cables?
No, I can route the cables
okay.
right around the edges here.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, they're going to plug in here.
Yep. Okay.
So let's go ahead and secure. So there should be some parts, some screws in here with the bag of parts. There's an Intel 1700 socket. What socket is that? Is that 12th gen? It's not even out yet. There's AMD. This is all for seating the water block onto the cooler or onto the CPU. These are the screws I need right here. Would you open those up for me, please? Then we have our, well, this is our AM4 stuff. That's what we're running as AM4. That is weird. And then there's the thumb screws and standoffs. And then there's a, looks like a USB cable. Looks like there's some software to control this all in one, which is nice.
Put them back in the bag.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Washers too.
Now here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be kind of funky, but I'm going to let this hang off the edge of the desk. Not going to be the best view for the camera, but I'm going to get up underneath and work at it like a car. One washer, one screw. Let's see if I can get this to align under here. Let's see. Wish me luck. Will it align in this orientation? Yes, it will.
How long did you go to mechanic school? A year?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. I think it was a half a year, 1 year and a half a year. I think it was one semester over, 2 semesters over 2 years. No. Let's just say it was a year.
Okay.
The more I think about it, the worse it sounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why do you ask?
I just, was it fun or kind of meh? I mean, did you enjoy
I was
it?
made fun of for being so little.
Did you enjoy it? I mean,
I enjoyed it, yes. However, I never had enough time in the class to finish what I started. And at the end of the class, I had to take home the engine that wasn't completely rebuilt, and I didn't know how to finish it without the instructor's assistance. And so it never got put back together in the class project, right? And, it served its purpose, which was for me to learn, but, there was no YouTube or anything for me to go to get any guidance. So I had the whole engine torn down, cleaned up, bored out,
okay.
honed out, and I just wasn't sure how all the gaskets and washers and everything went back together. It was a Volkswagen Dasher, which was Volkswagen's first water-cooled engine. And there just wasn't a lot of information about it that I could find at that time. And the books were a little too complicated for me. They were just maintenance books. They weren't really engine rebuilding books. So I got in a little over my head, and I was so enjoying the class that I was, helping other people do their stuff, and I wasn't really spending my time selfishly on my own engine. And then when the class ran out, it was like, well, now what do you do? Well, get it out of here, take it home, finish it at home. And it never got finished. And the car was picked up by a tow truck, and I think they gave me $20 for it. And the engine was in the back seat with the rebuild kit, which was $200 back then. Whew, brand new in a package. So, well, this is going to be a good gift to somebody who appreciates the value of what they're getting. All it had to do was be reassembled. It was ready to go. But what I learned from that was I probably only had a bad head gasket on that engine. It didn't need to be rebuilt. When I took it apart and saw the condition of it, it was in good shape. But once I took it completely apart, I was in it, There was no undoing it. But is there one more? Is that it?
That's it.
Oops.
Now you put them in there loose so you can slide.
Yeah, because I want to look at
Yeah.
where this is going to go and what it's going to look like. It can slide a little bit. In fact, just get that one started. I still need this. So the question is, do we want to pull it? As we push it this way, we start running into these front port headers. If we push it this way, the further away we get it from the CPU, the more taut these hoses will be. We won't have so much slack to deal with. Okay. But I'm just paranoid about running into these front port headers. These are very stiff.
Okay.
So I think pushing it as far back is better. So I'll tighten it down in this position. I'm really impressed that EVGA's so ready to go on. And this, what drew me to this cooler? The price. It was like one of the cheapest 240 millimeter coolers I could buy. So I didn't expect it to be this good as far as ready to roll out of the box.
They can put that quote on the website. I didn't expect it to be this good.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Says CareyHolzman. What a quote.
But if they know who I am,
right.
they understand how precious that is.
Yeah. So.
All right, now we'll take the cooler off. We're probably going to, that bottom piece from the motherboard might fall out. The back plate might fall out. So just be prepared for that. I'm going to put this cooler away. We should be done with that for a long time, I hope.
I didn't get a chance to see. Ooh, pre-installed compound. Very nice. Just a nice dollop.
What are you thinking, Mitch? Is it looking good? You like
yeah.
it? You not like it?
I likey, yeah. Mitchy likey.
Now we could put the bottom back on. We should be done as far as the bottom is concerned. And then this is going to go on, what do you think, this way? Is anything going to interfere? Nothing's interfering.
Doesn't matter, because again, you got the top, so it's, like you said, it just depends on the pipes, yeah.
It's kind of a shame on the EVGA cooler with this build that the pipes aren't on the side. Because if the pipes were on the side, we could bend them down. But being on top,
you can't, yeah.
there's not a whole lot we can do with them. I mean, it's going to be okay, but on some coolers, the pipes swivel. On both the radiator and the water block, the pipes are locked in.
Okay.
So we can bend them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's no harm in that.
You're not crimping them, you're just,
Yeah, we're not going to crimp them, but they are going to be bent down, and when the lid goes on, the lid's going to be pushing them down.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but it sure would be nice if they kind of came out of the side. But again, I was focused on price, and I wanted a new experience. Now, you can already tell with this bracket, this is an Intel bracket that's on here.
Okay.
And usually these brackets, they just come right off. Usually you twist them on most of these. They twist.
So you're going to need...
Unless it's going to make a liar out of me. This won't come off because that's all sealed.
But you would think this one has, things that you can, you would think spin.
Yeah, you might have to like push down on it. I'm trying to avoid touching the thermal material there. It's probably something I have to... There it goes. All right, will you hand me the other one? So my problem with this is the words are going this way.
No biggie.
Well, maybe not for you. But I wonder, can you put this on 90 degrees differently? Will it let me? Not looking promising here. I don't think so. You can see the groove right there. It looks like it could do it. Yeah, it does work. So now when I put it on, I could put it on. That's a nice touch from EVGA. All right. And we have some plastic over the top here that can come off. Now, how do we attach this to here? That's the question. Put this back on here to protect it. Oh, that's got the wrong form.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll let that hang off of there. And I'm going to take a little peek
At the manual?
at the
I don't believe
manual.
I don't believe it. All right. So there's no back
So
plane?
LGA, AMD. Well, that's not much for any documentation, is it? But we have AM4 socket, and we have the AMD bracket. So if we open the little baggie, I'm going to just wing this that says AM4. Could you open that? Would you open that for me? See how this works. It's freaky. Let me have you hold those for a second. Looks like my bracket is not aligned. It doesn't seem right. I don't think that's right. No, that screw is way too thin to go into that hole, so maybe it goes the other way around, like this. Ah, this is so much more fun than reading directions. Now, how are we going to tighten these? That's what I need to know. How do we tighten them?
With a 9/8 socket. No.
Will you hand me the 5mm socket driver that's in the drawer? Sometimes they include a little tool in here, but I'm not seeing it. Are these 5? They look bigger than 5. Those are way bigger than 5. There's a bunch of little nut drivers in there. Yeah. I buy this kit out of Amazon. You get it at Harbor Freight Tools. It's not a deep enough well, so that's not going to work for me. How about those nice engineer pliers from Japan? Yeah, this will get the job done without scratching them up. You'd think they'd give you a little socket for this, you know? It should be good enough. And then in theory, if I had to guess, I would guess this would go straight down on top. USB cable is going to plug into this side, which is maybe something we should do now. Yeah, that looks like it's...
But you could always take out the RAM. But
I mean, that is... I can't tell if I'm touching the CPU or if I'm above it at this point. Oh, I'm definitely touching it.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
see the outline of the thermal
circle.
compound on the CPU? See that?
Yep.
So we are making contact. So that means I just have to put the thumb screws on top.
Okay.
So in this bag, there should be some thumb screws for that. Interesting how they give us all of those standoffs with the thumb screws. They didn't separate the thumb screws away. And then, of course, we've got the USB cable I can attach right now, too. Let me give you that back. Ooh, is that going to bump into our RAM? It sure is. Okay. Well, I can't put it in this way. it's going to have to go sideways, even though that's not how I wanted it. I don't think I have a choice because of the USB cable that plugs in right here. I had that side facing the RAM. But it's an easy thing to change. We go back under here. Did you catch that? It was pretty quick. I can put it on this way. Now my cables are coming out this side, which I guess is fine. Everything's going to wrap around this way anyway, isn't it? I guess that's okay. We'll set that there. Then all I want are the thumb screws here. So those little standoffs can go back in the bag. I just want these big boys. Those are all your standard Intel standoffs there. If we were going to match the power supply, we would flip this 180 degrees the other way, but nobody's going to see it. I'm afraid I don't want these hoses to run so close together. Remember, we still have to put the lid on it. Will you hand me the red driver, please? Will you hand me the yellow driver, please? Thank you. Okay. One fan cable. This will go onto the CPU fan header, right? It says to motherboard. Oh, this may be. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm really getting the indication this should be the other way around. May change my mind on this, but I'll put it here for now. We'll run this around the same as we run everything else. There's one fan. Here's the other fan. But that is just, no, I was gonna say it was just long enough and then it popped itself right out. Well, you know, we can go right through this unless you're gonna put storage in here. We can run the cables right through this cage and that will, because this one's pretty tight. See how it's running here?
Yeah.
My preference is to keep this, let's run it through here instead. Or we can even run it. You know what? Even better. Boy, those don't really sit in there that tightly. They're very easily, they'll just pull right out. They don't really lock in at all. If I had a criticism, that would be it. So far. And then this is just a standard USB 2.0, and that'll go on the motherboard right here where it says USB. There's a pin missing. It can only go in one way. just like that. And then we just want to make sure that we're going to tie this up so that it won't interfere with the fan. That's all. But we can fire this back up. I would like to put the bottom back on it, though. So I think we should do that right now. Turn this around. Push it on those pipes. Does not feel good. Okay, bottom. Did the bottom go on this way, or does the bottom go on this way? That seems right. Okay, we ready to put this thing back together? Got some more screws for me? Then we have 2 on the sides, right?
We were missing one.
Yeah, we were missing one there, and then we have 2 on each side. So I need 4 more. Thanks, Mitch.
Now we'll see if you put the bottom on the right way.
I think it looks good. Oh, that's not going to be too bad at all. Yeah, that won't be bad.
Yeah. There.
So now I'm going to need the driver. I need to disconnect. I need to move the power supply because our power cable to the CPU is just a little too short. We do not have an extension for that. Okay, shall we fire it up and test it? We're ready to run Prime 95 and see how hot we can get this thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so power and VGA. Here's power. Did I say VGA? I meant HDMI. Power, HDMI. You still have the keyboard and mouse plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can give it network. I don't really need to give it network access, though.
Yeah.
Let's not plug the network in. And switch is on. Now, do me a favor, hit the power switch on the front. Let's bring the camera closer.
Oh.
Over. Bring the camera this way. Over here. Over. No.
Over here?
I want to see the top of this. And I want to see these fans spin when you hit that power button.
Now?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's doing what it's supposed to. It's a good start. Good start. All right, now I'm going to step over and we'll go to,
Which keyboard?
we're going to go over to HDMI input. And we're already in Windows.
Okay.
All right, now, while we're looking at this, it's awfully loud. Probably because we need to load the software to control the cooler. So I think it's just running full out.
Okay.
So it's not really a good test for Prime 95, but because it's loud,
Yeah.
right? This would normally ramp up and slow down based on how hot the CPU is. But let's grab the utilities flash drive and let's run it and see what it does here. I like to use HW info on AMDs.
Okay.
Okay, we're sitting at 38 and 40. I'm going to start Prime 95. Run it with all the defaults on all the cores. We should start seeing it heat up here. I'm going to push this off to the left so we can be over to the right. And I go back to the main camera, and then we can keep an eye on these temps here.
Do you want to hit the timer on your phone?
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. Go back to camera 1, and we'll just sort of put this over here like this, I think. Okay, so I haven't seen any comments in the chat for a while. While we were doing all this, my focus was entirely on this. Look at all the empty space we still have. I mean, this could have been this big.
Right.
You know, if they'd have made it, if we got rid of the hard drive cage, put the power supply there, and just run an extension cable out the back with no option for a video card, they could have cut this case in half. But because it is intended to hold a graphics card, I think that's why it's as long as it is. It can easily be a gaming machine. So the timer on the phone, let's do that. What did I do with the glove? Oh, here they are. Maybe missed some contributions from PayPal. You received $30 Amazon gift card from, $3 Amazon gift card from Phil. Two that he sent? That was earlier. $30 from Raul Armando Garcia. It says, thanks, Uncle Carey. I will be forever grateful for your channel, your life advice, and all your knowledge. I consider you a friend, most importantly, a mentor. How come you never say that to me? Thank you, Raul. I appreciate that very much.
No comment. All right. Boy, that's loud. I'll put my
It's very loud.
I'll put my microphone.
It may have to turn the filters off to hear it.
Yeah.
Never did start the timer. All right, we'll start it now. All right, going back into the chat room. I'm sorry, guys, I've kind of missed out. Let me scroll all the way back up, which obviously won't take me all the way back. Randall's, who is it? Larry Wood says, Carey again. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. I kind of did that a little bit here, didn't I, with the extension cable and just kind of coming up with some solutions here. Samuel Ramos says, it's a nice case, very retro. James wants to know if standard ATX cables will work on that power supply. Not something I'm going to experiment with. If they're from EVGA, probably, but even that's not a guarantee. I could get longer cables, I could get custom cables, or I could just buy cable extensions. And I think cable extensions will be faster for me to acquire. And I don't need custom cables because nobody's going to look at them anyway. John Kennedy says that's an interesting build. Yeah, that's why we're doing it. I thought it was interesting, very different. They want to know, is this for Mitch's man cave? Mitch has a studio. Mitch has a home theater. Like
screening room.
Like you even have to present tickets.
Yeah. To get past
There's a box office.
To get past the red velvet rope.
Bill Brulette provided a link to Amazon to
yeah.
the Senda Ultra Slim, but it's white. So it's like, it's for Mac.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only $28. So I appreciate the link just the same, Bill. Master Singleton says, Carey, the build is looking good. Matt Power says, Mitch, you're a good wingman.
Yeah. Wings.
Greg Guy says, I'm watching from St. Mary's Country, Maryland. Man, United States Navy, retired. Right on.
What's the temp out there in Maryland?
Planet Kraus with a $25 contribution says, I sent this before, but I'm sending another chunk. Hopefully Carey, Mitch, and Magic Camp Person are doing well. Someone's dinner is on me. Oh, what are we doing for dinner?
Would you say the snowbirds are back in town? I mean, I can't tell whether the traffic's a little heavier.
You know, last year since COVID, this is usually about the time they start arriving, but I don't think they're all here.
No.
But I'm sure some of them are.
Yeah.
Robert Jones says hello. Reverend John O'Toole says hello.
Somebody in chat look up 3.5-inch mechanical drives. What's what are they? 8 terabytes maybe? So you get 2 of those bad boys and
16.
You mirror it because you don't want to.
one.
Yeah, because you don't want to. I don't want to lose what I put on there.
That's
so.
what your NAS should be for.
Yeah,
put it in the box.
Yeah, that's true.
Too much heat.
Yeah.
And clacking.
Yeah, the clacking of the. And if you people in chat have Spotify, and you like my Alan Parsons t-shirt, of course, probably his biggest hit song was Games People Play.
No.
Or Time.
No.
No? iRobot?
No.
Okay.
Eye in the Sky has got to be the biggest.
Oh, yeah, based on
and
that.
then the intro Sirius was used in a lot of sports teams.
Basketball games.
Phoenix Suns would use Sirius as they're introducing the team.
Right. That's true.
So in my opinion, Eye in the Sky is his best work.
Yeah.
And I think a song that's less popular that I really like is called Psychobabble. Really like Psychobabble, especially with headphones on.
Yeah.
Hey, Acronis has joined us.
Hey!
Welcome in, Acronis. I think that's Bagowden. Hi, Bagowden. How's our temps doing over here? Can you read them? I can't read them.
I can't read them, even with my glasses.
Oh, nice and chilly.
It should be with those fans running full bore.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We're only about 6 minutes into the test, however, so there's lots of time for it to go sideways on us, but I don't think it will. You know what I should do is I should
Let me feel those pipes.
Yeah.
Not to be graphic. All right.
Feel them vibrating?
Yeah, and they're warm. They're not hot by any means, but yeah. But they are vibrating, so you know the liquid's getting through. Yeah.
It's pumping.
Yep.
You know, that reminds me. Let's plug the internet in, and let's go to EVGA's website and download the software, and we'll do it all at the same time.
Okay.
Just to make the system work even harder, and then download whatever software is available so we can see what the options are that we're missing out on right now. So to do that, let's see, we have to go full screen on this one. Then I'll open up the browser over here. See, that would undo all those changes I just made.
Oh.
So we're going to close that. I don't know why I did that. Let's open it again. That's the way I want it to open. And then we'll type in EVGA.
You missed an E. You missed an E. Mm-hmm.
EVGA AIO software. Precision X1. EVGA flow control software. Which one do I use? It's not the RGB software. It's the game board. What's the Precision X1? Real-time monitoring for graphics cards. Okay, so we don't want that. Game bar, I don't care about. That's just going to show us
Numbers.
yeah, it's like a resource monitor, temperature monitor. RGB, I don't think we need that. CLC liquid cooler. I think that's what we have. We don't have an EVGA audio card. This is more resource monitoring. That's overclocking. Let's open that. I'll extract it. I realize we're probably blocking part of it, but that's all right. Flow control. Hope I'm picking the right thing here.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Just guessing. Documentation's for suckers.
Yeah.
So we had pizza.
Yeah.
We did wings last week, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want to install? Yes, I want to install it. What do you think I click to install? Finish.
Run it and we'll see what comes up.
EVGA flow control. Oh, look at this weird thing, huh?
Fancy schmancy.
So what do I do with that? Let's see. LED on or off, I guess we could. Oh yeah, that does turn the LED on or off. LED rainbow. Oh, I see.
Okay.
So the LED changes color, that's fine, or it can be a solid color. Hardware monitoring. But where's my fan control? Pump and fan, what's going on here? Pump should be on auto. Fan curve is fine. What I'm concerned about is which way is on and which way is off. Not even sure. This is some kind of dial.
Slider, yeah.
I don't hear it slowing down, do you?
Nope.
It's definitely speeding up.
Yeah.
Awfully loud. Adjust that. Enable custom fan control. I'm not quite sure how to use this. Enable custom fan control. Boy, it won't let me move that to the right at all.
Probably because you're running Prime 95, so it wants to do at 100% to cool.
Yeah, you might be right. That's pretty, pretty steep.
Yeah.
This top one isn't going to let me adjust it. And it's detecting it and it's working. Interesting. It's awfully loud. Whoa. Let's go back to defaults.
Kind of like turbo boost.
So it's saying the fan speed's at 1320. Look at that rev meter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for the pump. Pump is at 2850. Fans at 1320. It's kind of an interesting interface. And then our temperatures now still pretty much haven't budged. And we're running on about 14 minutes on this test. So, yeah, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Now that we've got the software running, once we stop Prime 95, we'll see how quiet it gets. Because this still seems
Yeah.
pretty loud for a media build. Carey, did you quit drinking Coca-Cola? No, I just don't drink as much of it. I'll have a Coke with dinner. I have it with a meal. I like to just drink Gatorade while I'm...
I don't know. I tend to drink more of it in the winter when the weather's cool. In the summer,
Yeah.
it just doesn't have that thirst quenching that you need to stay hydrated. So, boy, aren't I using big words today?
It's a simple build. I mean, for a case to build in, it's very,
Yeah.
there's nothing in your way, you know? You put those support bars back in and drop the top back on, and it's good to go.
Yep.
So with the exception of the distance from the power supply to the motherboard, that's really the only issue I see here to be aware of, along with, you know, if you're going with any AMD build whatsoever, to know that using a modern AMD CPU on an older generation AMD board, well, it may be compatible, may require the BIOS update, as we demonstrated earlier in this video. So glad we had that opportunity. And I just kind of stumbled into this build. This was all going to be Intel, and it's now flipped the other way. But even if it was Intel, we'd still have the same issue with regards to the power supply cables not being long enough. The cooler would still have worked just as well. So, and we'd have used the same RAM. Not a big difference there. But yeah, if you want to drop a 3090 in there, I think it'll fit. Which is crazy.
Yeah, who's got graphics cards? Yeah.
Now, anybody, if you've got the money.
Yeah.
If you've got the money, I can get you a graphics card.
Right.
It's not like they're hard to find.
Find.
They're just hard to find at a reasonable price. So we're now at about, well, this is at 16 minutes, but I started it a little bit after this has been running.
So we're getting pretty close to 20.
I mean, it's not budging.
No.
It's not going anywhere. So I want to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah,
stop the test because it's clear to me this isn't going anywhere. Nothing's
Right.
changing. I'm going to stop. I just want to see if it'll quiet down. Watch those temps drop. Still pretty loud. Now remember, those fans are being controlled by EVGA. It's not being controlled by the motherboard.
Right.
So any adjustment to the fans has to be done
Through that.
through this software here. This fan speed is awfully high. I just don't know why the fans are so... Let's turn that off. It should be on auto.
Can you move the slider down and see if that... Nothing.
It's very minor. And there's different profile settings down here.
Anyone in chat? Suggestions? Comments? Theories?
Why are they so loud for just 1300 RPM? Well, they should be spinning at half of that. See, when I hit default, it jumped. Oh no, it dropped.
Yeah.
Well, it's back. Yeah, this isn't doing much for fan control. That's for certain. Sometimes there's a firmware update from these, that goes to the block from other manufacturers. I wonder if EVGA's got one of those. I don't see any option for that in here. Like I thought it would have been under the settings. K must be for like over
Yeah, turbo or
or
something.
something. Yeah, it's definitely louder. I don't see like a quiet setting on here. Of course, you always want the pump running full speed. Look at our CPU temps, really cool now.
Yeah.
Look how good that is.
Yeah.
We gotta slow this fan down. Come on now. Go back to the custom curve. Fan curve for coolant, fan curve for CPU. Won't let me go any more to the left. So it's 20 degrees versus percent of fan speed. It's not getting any quieter. See, because we're down in the 20-degree range. I don't know why it's still running at that high of an RPM. Yeah, see, our CPU temp and our coolant temp are very close together here. And these fans are still very loud. This might require a call to EVGA support and get some assistance because apart from that, changing out the fans, I suppose, with noctuals or something. We're changing the cooler entirely if it's just going to be too loud for a media PC. Well, that's yet to be determined.
Yep.
Samuel Ramos with a $20 contribution says, "Hey, Carey and Mitch, nice HTPC build. And Gary Boyd with a $10 Canadian contribution says, I enjoy the thought process. This is what teaches me.
Hey,
Right on.
Gary,
That's
thank you.
why we do it that way. We're glad you get it. Thank you. Folks are asking if I hit apply. I didn't see an option for apply. There is an apply button that's shaded out. See here down on the bottom right?
Yeah.
It says apply right over here, but that's shaded out. So I go back to the fan controls, which were...
What about that little setting gear next to the 0?
Yeah, it was just in there.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't see any. Do you see an apply? I don't see any
No.
apply here. Nothing seems to
No.
apply.
Man, that's loud.
Yeah, I don't know why they're spinning so fast, especially if it's that cool. They should be barely need to spin at all. That's the interface. This is general.
Check updates.
And then that's for like screenshots and stuff.
Yeah.
Clicking OK doesn't close anything. It's very strange. There's no other menu option here. You can hear it speed up. It doesn't really slow down very much. Not as far as I'd like it to. So we'll have to look into that. I think that's just something I'll look at after hours. I'm going to leave the lid off of it because I'm going to have to order the extensions anyway. I'm not going to leave the rainbow thing in there. That's just so we could get it running. But I mean, all the hard work's done. Everything else is just a little research. And then, you know, if I'm getting nowhere with this fan noise, I may just swap the cooler out. It's a good cooler, but you definitely want something quiet on a media PC. So there'll be a part 2 to this.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you would have known that anyway, given that the cables aren't long enough.
Yeah.
And then when that's all done, maybe I can get Photo Ray over here to cable manage it, although that doesn't look like it's going to be
Too tough. Yeah.
yeah, it's not a whole lot there. But Don Allen contributes $5 and says, just because. Thank you,
Hey,
Don. And let's go, let's tell you what, let's go ahead and just turn this off. Just tap the power button, that should cycle off. And then we'll go back to full screen over on camera 1, and that is much quieter now.
Yeah.
Much quieter. We're going to have to look into that. Yeah, we'll play with it off screen and I'll let you know what I find. And okay, we like to end by 5. We have 10 minutes. Any last questions, comments, or criticisms?
Be nice. Oh.
Marty has contributed
Hey,
$10. He says, go eat.
Go eat.
What are we going to eat? Steakhouse?
Arby's? No. Wendy's? McDonald's? Oh.
Really? You want to
No.
go somewhere like that?
No.
Ruby
No.
Tuesdays?
No. Yeah. Used to like Chili's, but they all left.
Did they all close up?
Well, I don't know
was
if that,
one down the street.
I didn't know if they all.
Oh, we're going to have to figure something out for dinner. I'm not cooking, I'll tell you
No.
that.
Yeah.
How's your feet?
Yeah.
your
You
feet a
know.
while.
Yeah.
See you leaning on the desk.
Yeah. It's a
I'm going to
bit,
get him a walker.
yeah. It's a bit much.
We'll get him an RGB walker.
I think I got neuropathy, and I just don't know it. I need to go to the foot doctor. So.
I'd have something clever to say if I knew what that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking that the whole time.
Yeah.
Michael Dane suggesting Subway.
Subway.
I'm not spending that kind of money.
Yeah. For fake tuna? Oh, they got real tuna now. Yeah. Their tuna was not tuna.
Monty says wings.
Wings.
No, we always can do wings.
Yeah, we know.
We need to go somewhere different for wings, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, well, we still have that to think about. But again, any last questions? Let's go ahead and wrap it up. All the parts for today's build are listed in the video notes below this video. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with us and in this really weird build. Let me turn it around one more time so you can get a good glimpse of what... This is not the part you would normally be looking at. You'd normally be looking at it from this direction. That's my utility splash right there.
There.
And there you go with the power button right there. That lights up in red.
Yep.
Right in the middle, which is...
Did someone in chat, Carey and I got so busy, did anybody in chat come up with a USB over-the-air dongle, you know, where you can get local stations with a, you know, I use the flat antenna because I can tape it to the window of the screening room. So... And there is a USB, you know, where the dongle would fit.
Oh, you got 6 USBs back there.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you got 2 up in the front. So
What does the red ones mean? They go fast? No.
I think so. I think those are USB 3s. MSI red USB ports. I'm not sure because I don't use enough MSI boards.
Oh, you got 2 here, yeah. 2 there.
Yeah.
And the gig.
And then 2 USB 2s for a total of 6, plus the 2 USB 3s.
Is this a DVI? Or
Yes.
no, what's that?
It's a DVI and an HDMI out on the motherboard. And then, of course, the antennas there for the built-in Wi-Fi. And then,
I'm all about
unfortunately, you know, I was looking for something that had better surround sound or like 7.1 for home theater on a mini ITX board. Seemed pretty difficult to find. I think that's how I ended up by mistake with the micro. I think I was focused on getting that 7.1. And yeah, I think this only has a single speaker out for 2.1.
Well, my Yamaha receiver, I think I got one more. All the HDMIs are filled except one, so I think I got room for just that bad boy.
Thomas Backenstow says, great show. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Burrito? You mean like at Chipotle?
Not happening. I had chicken last night.
And you're not big on Chinese food?
I'm not big on any ethnic food except Italian.
That rules out Thai food. All right.
That rules out everything.
Everything, yeah.
I think that's going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Chat rooms. I don't see any questions coming in. No technical questions anyway.
Well, it was a nice MacGyver job. I'll give you props for that coming up with ideas so that we didn't have to suddenly stop.
I still don't know where that little graphics card is that I use for testing. That really bugs me.
Deep cleansing breath. It'll turn up.
Just wondering if I used it in a build, thinking I've got an extra. I might have used it in a build. I just can't remember anymore.
Yeah. It's because you're old. All right.
So we'll play with it again offline, and I'll let you know what I discover and, you know, get those extension cables. And there'll be a part 2 to this. We still have to continue the big beast build as well. And I still have to get a different motherboard in for Doug Betts on that system. So we have 3 in process right now. Plus the one I worked on last week or week before last, that's in process. It's not done yet. And then I think there's one more after that. So coming back from vacation, I'm already 5 deep. And I just got back. And I think Raul is sending his machine back to us. You and I built it. And he's having an issue with it since he moved. Ever since he moved it from one state to another, it comes on but doesn't do anything. So he's supposed to send that.
Okay.
And then if you're available, we'll work on it. If not, I'll work on it without you. It's a diagnostic.
Well, I think there are 2 Fridays in November. Let's see, the motorcycle rally, and then the Friday after the Thursday of Thanksgiving, where I'll be up at my brother's. So that I'm out for two of the 4 in November.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I might be out of town on Thanksgiving too. So, yeah, that probably won't be a show then on that Friday.
Yeah.
And the other Friday, I'll just fire you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Thank you for all the contributions. Thank you for all of the support. I guess I can stop my timer. That's good. And yeah, I really appreciate the blue
Yeah,
the blue
yeah.
mod crew taking care of the the meager little spamming attempts. They're almost laughable now because of you guys. You sort of you squish them so quickly, and when they come back, it's so fruitless for them. I really appreciate that because you can see it's had a very positive effect. We don't see it like we used to, the number of attacks. So thank you guys for doing that. And again, for those of you who contributed and helped support, thank you for that. Those of you who just enjoy watching the content without telling me I'm doing everything wrong, thank you. Who am I missing? Contributors who I haven't named by name. It's not on purpose. It's just not at the top of my Planet Cryos. Thank you for all your contributions and edits. Of course, Peter Laycock, John, Jack Wilson, Larry Wood, all our regulars.
Michael Dane, the man.
Michael Dane, of course. I don't know why I keep forgetting to mention him, but I should know better. And yeah, all of you. So we'll see you all again very, very soon. And until then,
Bye for now.
what he said.